Hello, Pokemon Go trainers. Welcome to the Devon Corporation's European International Showdowns, even. Make sure I get that right. This is the second international showdown of the Devon series, which is a season of grassroots Pokemon Go PvP tournaments that have started from October of last year. So this is season 2. I'm really excited because this is the first time that we have had international showdowns. The first one was in November of last year, and that was the Latin American International Showdown won by Jacko Loco 2. And so this is the second international showdown here. So this one focuses on Europe. Now, the big thing with international showdowns is this. The top performing person from that region, in this case Europe, will get a prize of $100, which is a really nice prize to get for something which is a free entry tournament open to all. The extra cool thing is whoever wins the tournament, and that's regardless of where you're competing from, what region of the world you're in, you will get a chance. If whoever wins will be given an invite to the Devon World Championships, which will take place in July of this year. What's really exciting is whoever wins the World Championships will get a prize pool. Will get access to a prize pool of up to around $1,000. So it's a big amount of money for what is in essence a free-to-play grassroots Pokemon Go PvP experience. I currently have 4 amazing casters hailing from Europe that are going to take you through this journey as we crown the European International Showdown champion. And I'm super excited to see who is able to win out of all of these amazing battlers that have signed up. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to the casters to work their magic, and let's see who will be champion.
Yay!
Hello, everyone.
And myself, by the way, Tsuko. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
So I should start. So I'm Splin. For those who don't know me, I casted the Lille Regional Championship in 2022, and I've been active in the Pokemon Go world ever since the start, building a community in Belgium, playing some grassroots as well, and trying to shape the community. I used to have that YouTube channel called My PvP Academia with Count Xevious and Lundberger, and I think that's about it. I'm super hyped to be there this afternoon/night, and I'm looking forward to cast with all of you some amazing battles.
Go for it, Ilya.
Hey, I'm Potato Bear, or as Jox just called me, to most of you probably more so known as Ilya. I used to be Nexus Ilya in-game, but I've changed because people kept calling me Nexus. I'm usually a judge rather than a caster, but I've dabbled in casting before, especially in the first season of Sylph, where I was casting our local grassroots tournaments, and I've also, like Spleen, casted an official tournament with Utrecht 23. Besides that, like I said, I mostly judge both in grassroots, like here with Devon, or Gym Breakers, Battle Frontier, but I also judge mainly play Pokemon tournaments, where I go to every single one in Europe each season.
I guess it's my turn. I'm Jox13, also known as João. I'm from Portugal. That's pretty much my main thing. I'm kind of a player still. I dabble in and out of the play Pokemon circuit. I usually used to play a lot of Sylph Arena back in the day, so I'm quite used to the grassroots scene. And nowadays I'm taking more of a backseat to help new players come in, hosting tournaments, being a referee, being an admin. Try to do my part in this beautiful community we have.
And back to myself. So I'm Tsuko, also known as Nicola. I usually help judging play Pokemon events, and I used to help judging in the grassroots tournaments such as Sylph, Gym Breakers, Battle Frontier, etc., etc. I'm from France, by the way, and I also casted a couple grassroots tournaments, such as Gym Breakers mostly. and I'm very happy to be here and join the Devon Corporation stream. I hope it will be fun, and I hope we could see a good amount of very great battles. I saw the very first pairing that we may see on stream. It looks very exciting. I'm going to talk about it later. First off, I think we can discuss about more deeply about the meta. I think Jean read a lot about it. As for myself,
I gave a read about it. Devon has a bunch of content creators that help out members of the community that are passionate about building the metas and learning and showcasing it to newer players that might be a bit lost whenever a new meta comes. Rigel Starlight did a very cool guide about it, and it's basically the enlightening of the fire types. Fire types are usually Pokemon that really struggle to do well neutrally in open metas, and this meta caters to basically making all its weaknesses go away and making them very neutral against most of the meta. What are some of the picks that stand out to you guys?
So I've looked at the rankings on PvPoke, and I've seen Heatran in the top 20, which I've loved Heatran ever since they gave it to us with Great League CP, and I hope we see a few of them today as well, because it does have a decent amount of play. Unlike the other fire types that resist the dragon type fast moves coming from, for example, Arctobax, the steel typing in general can be very well utilized, because the ground typing, that its double weakness, is gone as well, not just the water typing.
We'll go ahead and watch our first pairing, which will be featuring Out of Pocket and Tenacity. It will be. Thank you, Potato and Jox, for introducing us the meta, and we will see you again very soon. It is very exciting to see Out of Pocket and Tenacity. Both of them are very, very talented battlers. I think we all know Out of Pocket so far. He's been the NAAC champion last year. Also, top 5 at Worlds. What do you know about Tenacity, Splin?
I mean, he has always been one of the most dominant British battler out there in the PvP scene. A very consistent battler, has been on the top for almost everything for a while. So I'm a bit looking forward.
Yes, we can say he's a legendary battler. Definitely top 10, almost first in the UK, if not beaten by Cleonardo sometimes. Thing with Cleonardo is we never know if he's Italian or British. Nah, joking. It will be a very exciting match between two very talented players. I hope we see some spice picks. I don't think either of them are known with their spiciness. So we may see some classic picks like Umbreon that are very classic, Munchlax, to give them a very safe side of matchups. What we will see is definitely fire though. So it will be quite much. While we wait for the players to be ready, we can talk about more about the meta. As our co-caster said, it will be a very fire type meta with Heatran on top of the Volcano for sure. I've seen Alan Raticate be a good anti-meta pick with resisting Dark from Umbreon, being quite bulky, having access to quick attack, which is definitely giving fast attack pressure, as well as Crunch, which gives a chance for debuff which will definitely help out.
Yeah, and also quite some bulk as well on the right gate side. In a meta that seems to have kind of some.
We will also see different war madam.
Fire
you're used to see
types are
trash
not used.
We are used to see trash war madam in Go Battle League recently, in the Love Cup. But we may see Sandy war madam, which is the ground top version of it. Which can see some kind of play with all the fire types we will see. We may also see Iswian Analog, sorry for the pronunciation, giving good plays with the access to fast rock slide, and fast icy wind, and very good Pokemon on the side. Just like we've never seen it yet, either in the Play Pokemon series, Championship series, or even in Grassroots. It acts up. How do we say? It's very rare, and we may also see Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash is also a very difficult Pokemon to access. It was only accessible in Go Fest, I think, if I recall correctly. It has Thundershock, access to Thunderbolt and Hydro Pump, if I'm correct. It has very fast energy generation, but it's also like very squishy, so we never know. We may see it, but it's definitely oriented with Umbreon, Munchlax, Raticate, Fire types. And we may even see the comeback of Galarian Stunfisk without Pelipper this time. Are you back, Splin? Okay. We are locked in for game 1, and we see Galarian Moltres into Umbreon. Definitely gives the edge on Umbreon, giving the bulk and the access to Last Resort, while Galarian Moltres resists all the fast attacks. Last Resort gives a good chunk on Galarian Moltres, while Galarian Moltres builds up and fires the Brave Bird. Brave Bird coming through, no shielded by Tenacity. Oof! Gives like 50% of health. Switches to the Galarian Stunfisk. Stunfisk will be hit by another Brave Bird. Brave Bird going off. No shielded by Tenacity again! And another 50% health down to that Galarian Stunfisk. Stunfisk now baiting that Rock Slide, which is shielded by Out of Pocket. Unfortunate, because it's also a double resisted fast attack, charge attack, sorry. And now Out of Pocket going up, sending its Earthquake going shielded by Vitacity, good shield by him, and sending his one to Out of Pockets, making sure he will get a shield or a KO, gets the shield, and now Out of Pocket is out of shield, but will get a good amount of energy because he will be able to farm this Stunfisk down and managing to take very, very little damage by this Rock Slide. Vitacity coming back with the Umbreon, not before getting hit by that Earthquake. Earthquake being shielded by Vitacity. He tried to take that, sending that Dark Pulse off before that. Going back, switching to the Talonflame, being met by that Toxapex. Talonflame firing off that Fly. Oof, not enough damage to threaten that Toxapex. And being met by another Fly, which will put it into the red now, when will we see the brain going off? Right now, it shouldn't quite KO, I think.
It will get very close. Do so. It's going to. Oh, actually, it does KO, which is very impressive, and it does mean that Toxapex can launch another brine at either the Galarian Moltres on Outer Pocket side. Galarian Moltres coming in, and Toxapex trying to rush the Sludge Ray. Does it get it in time? Simultaneous swap there. That's impressive.
Trying to call the swap on the Stunfisk and trying to call the charge move on the Toxapex. Very impressive by both trainers. Umbreon being able to throw the double foul play to KO that Stunfisk. Or close to KO, maybe?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think he'll
So
be
that's
pretty close. Yes, that's so impressive. That's bulk on Galarian Stunfisk. So useful to get this additional damage off on the Umbreon, which hopefully will help things a little bit. Let's see how close it is, but it's going to be tricky. Galarian Moltres does need to sucker punch down here. Will he be able to do it in time? No, Last Resort is launched by Umbreon.
Will that last resort KO that Galarian Moltres and give the win to Vitacity? If not, maybe try to combo play. It gives the KO. Umbreon by a sliver of HP. Take the win for Vitacity.
That was so impressive there. There were some really close battles there, and yes, as you can see, I have Spleen has there's a few internet issues here which we're trying to get addressed. So I've decided that I'll quickly jump in here, and we will be bringing Spleen back in as soon as he has been able to reconnect. But very close battles there. Game 1, really close. I mean, are you surprised? These are two of the best trainers in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely two of the best trainers in the world, and in the grass format, both of them trying to get the edge on each other. Like the switches come and go, like the out of pocket trying to catch that sludge wave, not get that. The Vitacity made the best of the bulk of his team. He has chosen the 3 bulkiest Pokemon on his team. I think it's a good strategy. I also think we can see less bulk and be more aggressive, just like Pocket, just sending out the bravest birds and taking a lot of health from Vitacity. Wasn't enough, but
it was close. Yeah,
definitely get the edge on to Out of Pocket at some point in the game. It was really close. Really close.
I'm excited to see how Out of Pocket reacts. He's one of the best trainers in the world, does so well on the official circuit in the North American region. Vitacity has not made quite as much of an impact on the official circuit here in the EU, but nonetheless has a very well-regarded reputation on the grassroots, having been so dominant with the Silpharina in past years, and now hoping to make an even bigger name for himself on the Devon series. And so I'm very excited as to what changes are made and whether there is an adaptation from Out of Pocket, and whether Vitacity can react to that and overcome the adaptation there. So let's see what happens. Both trainers are now considering their teams, considering what to change, and will be going into game 2 relatively shortly. Of course, as you know, it takes a bit of time to think about what's the best play to make here. It's quite daunting battling against players of this caliber, right?
For sure. And welcome back, Spleen, to the cast.
Yeah, sorry for that. Internet issues. I just had a new connection, and apparently my computer doesn't like that, so we good. Looking forward to cast that game 2 when the players are ready with you, Zuko.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've seen a Magmar on Vitacity team. Maybe we see it on the field. Maybe not.
It's definitely a very interesting mon, especially in the meta, because it has quite some coverage. You can actually, I think, even run it without any fire type, fast attack or charge attack, having access to that karate chop, if I remember correctly. Also, Thunder Punch, I think.
I think it has Fire Punch and Scorching Sense.
Yeah, so very interesting mon. I guess to have some coverage, which would be always interesting.
I know we see Vitality and Out of Pocket back in the game. What leads will we see this time? And we don't know because they are not the same invite. But yeah, as we see, we have Vitality with Magmar and Nido King. Two very interesting ones.
That's for sure.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I do like that Quillfish. I think that every time that Pokemon is allowed, actually in a restricted format, it always shines. Thanks to like we were a bit saying with the Magmar, thanks to the versatility of the move pool. You have one of the best fast move in the game. With either you go with Poison Sting or you go with Poison Jab.
Yeah.
So it's always very very interesting. You go for energy generation or you go more for a damage oriented strategy. But then you also have that move pool that is very interesting. You have Ice Beam, you have Aqua Tail, you have Shadow Ball, you have Dark Balls. So very very interesting. You can really build your team. It can really be a Swiss Army knife for you, and it's always very interesting, and it's so fast to reach that Aqua Tail, so spammy. So I like that mod.
So fast and gives so heavy damage. Like honestly, Eastern Coolfish is like one of the best mons. I also love Dark Poison mons. I think one of my favorite mons is Skuntank, if nobody knows. But yeah, one of the best Dark Poison mons. If Drapion wasn't there, basically.
Yeah, that's true. That Skuntank is unfortunately suffering a bit against Drapion. But I mean, I do believe they are not fulfilling the same function. Skuntank is more, let's say, also relies a lot on making damage with the poison jab, whereas Drapion is really more, I think, a mon that relies more on his charge moves and on the spamminess of his charge moves rather than making some damage with Poison Sting.
So what will we see for the game? I think the strategy of Vitality getting more bulk on his side worked well. Out of Pocket really managed it well with his Guardian Moltres being able to learn not only one but two Brave Birds onto the Guardian Stonefisk and the Umbreon. At the end of the day, it was only up to a single catch, that's Surgery catch on the Guardian Stonefisk that was called by Vitality and switched at the same time to the Umbreon. Maybe we see Out of Pocket going for more bulk, or maybe we see, I don't know, more use of Umbreon, or like processing more that Moltres. What do you think, Splin?
Yeah, so actually I missed game one because I was having troubles.
What do you think about game two?
But I mean, I think that Vitality is probably going to go with the same route of trying to outbulk his opponent. Mm-hmm. And we'll see what Pocket kind of needs to react, because you do need to you do need to have at least a bit of bulk.
We see Nido King in the lead, met up by that Guardian Moltres, switched fast to the Quillfish. Actually, very, very different strategy from Vitality.
Yeah, exactly, and we do see that that Quillfish that is building a ton of energy, and now we do see Out of Pocket Moltres that is going to go for that Ancient Power, landing the Ancient Power, and then save swapping and catching that Aqua Tail on the Stunfisk.
Definitely, that's Aqua Tail was said super effective, but barely does any damage. We will need to land at least 3 of them, probably 4, before knocking out that Stunfisk. Stunfisk being able to reach that rock side first, but wants to shield that Aqua Tail and get the good set of energy.
Exactly, out of pocket, knowing that he can farm down, but we do see that V Tenacity is not going to let that happen, and now Pocket going for that risky bait with the rock slide, and we is going to get this first protecting shield on V Tenacity side.
And
wow, yeah, exactly. Yeah, what a play by Hot Pocket there, catching that Santum on the Galarian Moltres, doing literally almost no damage, and now V Tenacity is going to go for that Earthquake, but Pocket instantly presses the no shield, knowing that it can tank that and farm a bit more energy.
Exactly. That's the drawback of having a double ground moveset, is you can do literally no damage to Flying type Pokemon. Able to land that Brave Bird, freeing out of pocket himself the Nidoking matchup, and we let Toxapex with barely no farm, only able to land 3 Poison Jab. We see that out of pocket tried to come in with the Galarian Stunfisk. We will see it going on.
Yeah, coming soon with the Galarian Sunfisk and going for another bait. And I think that at this stage, if you are V Tenacity, you need to shield. And no, he calls the bait. What a play by V Tenacity, Zuko.
What a play. Another very good call from V Tenacity. Able to no shield that rock slide that does no damage. On his side, out of pocket decided to shield that Brian and goes back to the gradually to start applying some damage with the bullet seed and.
Can he reach? Oh, and V Tenacity is going to reach that Aquatail at the last second on the Quillfish, and that's going to be massive. Left also with a Brian loaded, and here comes the Grass Knot from the Cradily, and that's going to be super close. But I think that V Tenacity is looking really in a tough position. Yeah, the toughest position. So much energy left and right, and yeah, decided to opt to not using his last protected shield, knowing that also the Stunfisk had some energy as well.
Definitely, it has rock slide banked, so there was no point in shielding, knowing that it was resisting the poison jab. Needed to at least land a Brian onto that. Gradually, will be able to not have close to no energy. It was over for him. It was a good choice to let that go.
Yeah, and we had also to say that a great read by Pocket to bring the Stunfisk. Actually, it was really doing well into the line of 3 that V Tenacity brought for that game too. Doing just super effective damage to basically the 3 months, even if it was with a very costly Earthquake, but still that Galarian Stunfisk put some work for out of pocket.
Definitely, and the change of strategy from V Tenacity did not pay off for him. Less bulk, more aggressive, but Nidoking ended up being met by that Galarian Moltres, which obviously is kinda close to being walled by it, with that double ground movesets and the fast attack, which was double kick if I recall correctly, which does neutral, but definitely not enough damage to be able.
Yeah, that's a non-stab neutral fast attack. So definitely, I think you need a bit more to do some work against the Moltres. Moltres has been working well for out of pocket, so I'm assuming he's going to pursue that route, especially because Moltres, if you can set up a farm down, or if you can put the Moltres on the Nidoking, just like what happened in game 2, you are really in a very good spot for. So I wouldn't be surprised if Pocket is going to continue with that strat.
Definitely, the Galarian Moltres seems like the perfect strategy for out of pocket. Now we may see V Tenacity trying to adapt around it, which means we may see Stunfisk being brought back to the cast in his team. May we see Magmar maybe? Magmar, very fast, a very high attack, has the Karate Chop fast attack, which will be neutral, has the Fire Punch. Maybe hit back by the Ancient Power for sure, but we never know. It's a great addition and on the team, and it should do well into Galarian Stunfisk, doing some super effective damage on the Steel type, and with Karate Chop and Fire Punch and Scorching Sense, it should do well into Tragedy, which was brought by Out of Pocket. Should be neutral into Moltres. Who knows? I'm excited by Magmar. Okay, I'm excited by Magmar. But also, I'm also really excited by the shiny Galarian Moltres. It looks so good. Having that color swap with the Cantonian Moon one, honestly, top notch. I don't know what we will see for Game 3. The change of strategy from V10 did not pay off, and the addition of Stunfisk in Out of Pocket's team made the change on the whole change. Especially Kojili. Kojili did a very good job. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The players should be back soon. We are having a bit of technical issues on one player side, so we can still discuss about the matchup and the strategies that they can adapt. Definitely, Nidoking was probably not the play, but I think Quillfish did have a lot of plays though. Poison Sting made it for a great safe swap, which means that if you're facing a very tough lead, you can come back with the Quillfish and try to flip that matchup, or getting some kind of advantage when you bring it to the field. Poison Sting, super fast with Aqua Tail and Shadow Ball. We are back on the game with Talonflame lead into that Stunfisk. Talonflame having a decent matchup into Stunfisk. So
it's proving a little bit challenging for Out of Pocket, I think, because he's not able to. I think the visuals are causing a few problems there. But anywho, he recognises that this is a Galarian Stunfisk running Rock Slide here. There's a swap into the Umbreon, but again, difficult to see what's going on. I think that the phone might need a little bit of help there, but anywho, let's see how he's able to cope nonetheless. Umbreon coming in now. Oh no, but before that, a fly is launched by Out of Pocket in order to do a bit more chip damage onto this Umbreon.
Not only a fly, but the attack boosted fly, now going to swap into the Toxapex, I guess. Toxapex will be able to tank this foul play super easily. Will apply a good amount of fast attack damage with the Poison Jam, and will be able to fight back with the Surge Wave. The Umbreon will launch another foul play onto that Toxapex, and we see Vitality coming back with the Stunfisk. Stunfisk will be being hit by that Brine. Brine doing super effective damage, does a good amount of damage for a super effective charge attack, and will be able to launch that Earthquake that may grab that KO into the Toxapex. It will grab that KO. No shield by the Out of Pocket, making sure that he will farm down that Stunfisk with that Talonflame.
This is quite nice. this is quite nice though for the Talonflame, because even though Out of Pocket doesn't realize it, there is a Magmar in the back, and Magmar struggles to deal with Talonflame in this meta. So it's sensible of Tenacity to bring the Umbreon here, but it is on low health already. Swap into the Magmar, and it's responded to by Out of Pocket's Galarian Stunfisk. This is an interesting matchup because Magmar is very squishy, but Magmar is also able to get those charge attacks off quicker. So who will be the first to blink here is the question.
It's a good question, especially because Magmar, while being very fast, it's also very, very frail. Able to launch that Scorching Sands, does a very good amount of damage, gets that attack debuff, attack fail, and able to launch that Fire Punch on charge attack priority to that Stunfisk. Stunfisk no shielding that, shielding the Fire Punch actually. Once he wants to get that Rock Slide to KO the Magmar. Will it KO though?
It will do a lot of damage, but it's quite nice because it allows this Talonflame to come in and get that farm. Talonflame actually has a respectable amount of health here, is able to tank one foul play for sure. The question is, can it farm down the Umbreon before being able to launch a move? That is going to be the key thing here.
And it is. Farming it down easily, will be able to outpace that Magmar to the charge attack, launch the fly, brings the win to Out of Pocket without any visual cues.
You know what?
That champion.
That absolutely blows my mind that he's been able to pull that off. That was incredible play by Out of Pocket. He's going to be commenting, I'm sure, in the chat now, going, I don't know how I managed to pull that off. To be honest, that is so impressive against a very strong opponent in their own right as well. As you can see, a little swap against Spleen is having a few internet issues as well, but hopefully we will get him back very soon, and I will disappear back into the background. What can we say about that battle? That was amazing.
Oh, that was amazing. Very well played by Out of Pocket. He doesn't need any visuals. He doesn't need anything. He just needs to tap on his phone. Tap is on his way to win. Incredible way to finish the matchup. Talonflame showing why he is the best bird out there. Fly doing like the best damage out there, able to farm down like the Stunfisk, able to KO that farm down also that Magmar.
Yes.
Super impressive plays out there, being able to also like although being caught, the flame charge being caught by the Umbreon in the mid game, able to grab a shield into the Umbreon by launching another attack boosted fly. Honestly, very very impressive game.
Yeah, I think he's going
nothing much to say.
I think he's Out of Pocket. He's going to go back to the stream later on and just clip and go, how have I won this? It's a little bit tricky because, of course, I think one thing that we have to bear in mind that when we're having a grassroots stream, you have your own phones. Sometimes they can be a little bit prone to a little bit of a temperature gradient, shall we say, when they're streaming, and especially if they're being charged at the same time as well. And so these are little things that, even though these streams are fun to set up and stuff, there's a lot of work that is needed in order to make sure the equipment's there and all running. So it can be a little bit tricky. One thing that I actually found very useful in these scenarios is when I went to GoFest in Madrid last year, is to use one of those clip-on fans, which helped keep my phone a lot cooler in the 30 degrees Celsius heat. I'm not going to bother to convert that into Fahrenheit because I have no idea what that is.
Me neither. We can welcome back the other casters, João and Ilya, to the cast to discuss more about the matchup and the next rounds. Welcome back! Oh,
we have Sergio back.
Let's go.
Yeah, that certainly was a match, especially game 3 with those weird visuals. Still able to figure out what the opponent was using by reading in the top right, and still being able to keep count, which is quite impressive. Quite a comeback
I think
after
that one is
first game.
definitely getting in the pocket mixtape for sure, because that was a crazy win. I think I would have top left it out of default. Just this is a clear rematch.
Same.
I'm just gonna top left. He won, and he won versus V10, which is one of the best grassroots players ever. So crazy win by pocket.
And heated match for unheated phone, I guess.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
Something that I found interesting, and you mentioned it doing the cast, Zuko, is that
Okay.
trio of bulk with Toxapex, Umbreon, and G-Fisk. You kind of have to dance around them because they can take so many hits that gives you flexibility and time to think. And Pocket did just that with those neutral picks like G-Moltres, the Cradily as well, having neutral matchups all around versus that core, which turned out pretty good for him.
Exactly, being able to launch very high attack charge attacks, like very damaging charge attacks onto them, and being able to dance around with fast-paced Pokemon in the back, like Cradily, like Talonflame. Even like we can say that Stunfisk is quite fast-paced, although like being nerfed in the past season with the Mudshot nerf. Still able to pull very fast rock slides in, I say, 6 Mudshots, I think.
Yeah, it is 6
So-
shots.
So it's able to do some good damage, and Magmar not being able to pull off a win, although brought into the field, which I respect.
Yeah, something you can't nerf though is stats. You saw that G-Fisk versus the Ishu and Quillfish tanking those 2 super effective Aqua Tails, no problem, and being able to just Mudshot down with giving up 1 shield. That gave him a lot of energy to be able to deploy an Earthquake into the Umbreon, which came up clutch for Pocket.
Yeah, not unlike Azu. Azu with the nerf bubble then just buffed again because they realized it wouldn't actually nerf the Pokemon itself, it would just nerf everything else running bubble. And Galarian Stunfisk finds itself in quite a similar predicament where its stats and typing are just so good it will always find a way, at least in a meta like this.
Definitely.
Yeah, and we're
stats,
seeing
pretty sure that the
go for it,
Stunfisk
Zuko.
would have been able to tank that third Aqua Tail from the Quillfish. No problem with the no fast attack pressure from that Quillfish. Like,
I'm not sure about no problem, but I do believe it might have just barely hung on due to Poison Sting being triple resisted. I'm pretty sure it does 1 damage. So for the high HP Stunfisk, that's not exactly impressive.
Yeah, if we look into the bracket, we have pretty much all the round 1 matchups already done. I think round 2
Yeah, round
ready
2 is
to go
actually
and being
already
set
up.
Yeah, we saw. Yeah, and that being said, we're gonna say goodbye to Spleen and Zuko because we're gonna jump straight in to our second matchup, and we have a fan favorite. At least, I'm not sure if there's many fans of Etran, but at least we have one on call with Ilya right now. The only Etran in the tournament, I believe, won round 1.
It is
And
indeed
we're
the only
featuring
Etran.
it. We're featuring it in the shoutcast. We have Kale Special versus Galactica Bolton.
If Heatran has 1,000 fans, I am one of them. We all know Galaxy's favorite Pokemon to run is Serperior, which, not exactly legal in this tournament, but even if it was, he would probably still run it into that Heatran team. We all know how much he loves to disrespect answers to it. But in this certain situation, there is, of course, no Serperior. However, he is running a bit of a spice team as well. He is running a solid core with G-Fisk, Talonflame, Umbreon, and Galarian Moltres, but he brings Piloswine and Tyrant as well, which are rather interesting.
Yeah, I think Piloswine is kind of an interesting pick, right? Because it's a ground type that has a decent matchup into the water type Toxapex, resisting the poison jabs, and can deal neutral damage into the Umbreon and G-Fisk, which have been pretty I would say annoying to deal with for out of pocket. He had to dance around a lot to beat Vitan with that. I'm seeing that Edron kind of has an interesting matchup here. Only really the Tyrant could be annoying with the double resistance to the fire spins, but all its moves are resisted, right? So
yes, all of the Ancient Power is neutral into
Ancient
Heatran.
Power, yeah.
But you do resist the Dragon Tails. Unfortunately, he doesn't run Earth Power, so that matchup turns a bit worse, or Iron Head for that matter. However, besides the Tyrant, the only real threat to the Heatran is the Talonflame. Because Incinerate does hit it for neutral damage, whereas you hit for resisted Fire Spins. But Umbreon is pretty neutral. If you have a 1 Fire Spin advantage, you will outpace to the first 3 charge moves. Piloswine, they need to hit the high horsepower unless they don't want to do anything to you. And G-Fisk, you hit each other for mutual destruction, though you win CMP, so you have more charge move pressure than the Galarian Stunfisk.
Yeah, you do get it with double super effective Mud Shot, right? Which would be pretty troublesome in shielded scenarios. I think actually... Yeah, I'm kind of interested on the Nidoqueen on the side of Kale Special. I'm not sure if it has much play into this team because you have quite a lot of poison resists, but I think it could be interesting in the meta. It has good natural bulk as the non-shadow version, and being able to set up fast move pressure mons like Moltres or Toxapex with a Poison Fang could be pretty useful. I'm not sure if it's going to see any play here though.
Yeah, Nidoqueen is definitely rough to bring here. However, not unlike Galax, Kale is also bringing a solid core of 4 Pokemon to support his 2 Spice Picks. And his core is not even that different to Galax's. He brings the same Umbreon, Galarian Moltres, and Galarian Stunfisk. The only difference is he has Toxapex instead of Talonflame.
Yeah, and we see now Toxapex can be polarizing against those Talonflames in the previous round 1 matchup, right? V10 had a lot of patience storing that foul play from the Umbreon, not throwing it on the Talonflame because he knows that Toxapex is such a good matchup for it. I'm kind of interested to see how Toxapex can do into this team, because if it avoids the Galarian Stunfisk, I think it could do pretty well here.
I absolutely agree. Only the 2 ground types are rough, but besides that, it's a very neutral pick with a very positive matchup against the Talonflame, outside of if it lands a Brave Bird, of course.
So I think the what we have to bet here, Ilya, is since that Kale Special Heatran has Stone Edge, does it land as Stone Edge on the Talonflame on this best of 3? I think that's the question everyone is wondering.
That is indeed the question. Stone Edge would be amazing to see in action, since it can absolutely obliterate both Talonflame and Galarian Moltres. Especially Galarian Moltres, I actually think he doesn't even need to go for Stone Edge, honestly, because the Fire Spins and Magma Storm just do so much damage from this 135 attack beast. But against the Talonflame, it would be quite interesting to see the tables turned of this very bad matchup into a one-shot with the double effective Stone Edge.
Something that I'm concerned regarding Kale Special's team is that safe swap Galarian Stunfisk looks pretty safe into his team. He doesn't really have like a hard check to it. The fire type Heatran takes double super effective damage from the Mud Shot, as we referred. And if you go into the mirror with energy disadvantage, it can get quite tricky, right? So
yeah, you'll need to land a bait or call your opponent's baits. It's not super comfortable. What I believe to be his best answer to the Galarian Stunfisk is the Umbreon, actually. You typically just outbulk it, basically, because of your charge moves. Being able to outpace to foul play is huge, and the Mud Shot energy nerf is quite heavy in that matchup.
Yeah, actually, Rock Slide is also kind of useless versus the Umbreon, right? So if you do bait, it's kind of costly because you're just going to tickle that small cat or...
We've mentioned Rock Slide, but not only has Mud Shot been changed, Rock Slide was also nerfed. So Rock Slide already was not great in neutral matchups, and now it's even worse. He definitely needs to land the Earthquakes, and I'm pretty sure he needs 2 of them and a Rock Slide to be able to get rid of the Umbreon.
Yeah, and that's why I think people are quite happy to bring their Galarian Moltres in, because even though your charge moves are resisted, the Rock Slide does underwhelming damage, right? And with the Sucker Punch, you can put enough dent in it where a Brave Bird can threaten a knockout. So yeah, I think Galarian Moltres is kind of flexible, even though the most common mon in the meta, the Galarian Stunfisk, does resist his charge attacks, the fast attack, and the lack of charge move pressure from the Galarian Stunfisk can prove costly costly in that matchup.
Yeah, absolutely agree. In this matchup, the only real threat to the Galarian Moltres is the Piloswine, as even against Umbreon, where you only hit for resisted Sucker Punches, we've seen earlier how much the Brave Bird will chunk. And against Stunfisk Galarian, it's not very different. Even though it's resisted, you still do almost half, especially with the Sucker Punches added up. And the double resisted mud shots don't really do that much. With a bit of an energy advantage, you're even able to get to 2 Brave Birds before Stunfisk makes it to 2 Rock Slides, which can be quite detrimental for that matchup.
Yeah, so I reckon if I'm Kale, I'm trying to prevent that safe swap J-Fisk. We'll see what he's got in store for us today. We get Tyrant into the Galarian Stunfisk. This is a pretty decent lead for Kale.
He definitely prevented that Galarian Stunfisk safe swap by leading it himself, but also Galax opted to not even bring his own. Instead, he safe switches into the Talonflame. Kale here throwing the Rock Slide on good move timing, before probably opting to switch out to preserve this Galarian Stunfisk.
Yeah, Talonflame does super effective damage with the Incinerate, but the Rock Slide will be one-shotting it, so he has to be really careful. Great no-shield here by Kale. No-shield the Brave Bird, but he does KO. He doesn't choose the shield correctly. Now comes in with the Moltres, trying to maybe farm it down, but not before the Talonflame reaches multiple moves here.
Is this Talonflame attack booster or something? That did insane damage. I never expected the Galarian Stunfisk to quite go down there yet. But oh my god, he gets the boost!
Yeah, interesting. The boost here and behind the shield, Kale will be able to farm down this Talonflame, not before it throws a fly. Can it farm down? No, he chooses to safe swap the Tyrant again, trying to prevent maybe a Sucker Punch down. Gonna reach the Ancient Power? No, not before it throws the Dragon Claw.
Safe switches Tyrant, but with the attack and def boost, it's not even a real answer anymore, especially with that slight bit of energy that Kale managed to build up on the Galarian Moltres. Is able to reach double Ancient Power here.
Yeah, and here has a lot of energy in store. Maybe gonna be able even to reach a Brave Bird for the last matchup. KOing here the Tyrant. The Talonflame is pretty much dead. I don't think you can bring it in versus the Moltres before getting Sucker Punch down. You have to get into the Mirror, and he throws the Brave Bird. No catch is made. No shields.
The Switch Clock is not quite up yet. No shields remaining. Let's see if this Brave Bird will KO with the attack boost. And it will! It's a clean one-shot!
Wow, and here is able to Sucker Punch down just before the Incinerate registers, and we get a W. Here the Ancient Power boost, making sure that there's no survival of that Brave Bird, and getting the W.
Heatran is so good. It didn't even have to come into play to win the match. She did bring it, but the Moltres with the boost just swept the entire line.
Yeah, that counts as a E-turn W for me. I'm sorry. I don't care if it didn't participate. But yeah, that Ancient Power boost being kind of detrimental towards Galax, and also proving that Brave Bird, even though it's resisted, it's such a good move that it does insane damage, right? Talonflame being able to KO the G-Fisk with pretty much Incinerate damage, putting it in Brave Bird range. So you gotta be wary of these mighty birds.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier when we were talking about the Galarian Moltres against the Galarian Stunfisk matchup, but Talonflame, of course, also a Brave Bird user with 10 extra attack almost, depending on the IVs, closer to 5. And the Incinerate's super effective, best move in the game stat-wise. The only downside is that the 5-turn duration, but in this matchup, it's not a real downside anymore, especially now that Rock Slide takes 12 turns to get to.
Yeah, even though the Galax went with the good move timing on the Kale went with the good move timing. It's still rather slow versus the mighty Talonflame. Also, kind of interesting here the moveset choice of Brave Bird from Galax. We saw out of pocket earlier. He was running Flame Charge on this Talonflame.
Yes.
Yeah, so I wonder
sure if there's the correct answer to this question.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if Brave Bird is so good that it doesn't really care about that typing advantage that Flame Charge gives. It does give a different playstyle for the Talonflame instead of being a zero shield user with the Brave Bird, maybe trying to two shield farm down Pokemon. Let's see in game 2 if Galaxy Bolton is able to adjust. We have the Edran lead.
It's a Pillow Swine!
Participation into the Pillow Swine. This is a great matchup, resisting the Powder Snow.
And with the Tyrant in the back and Galarian Moltres, there isn't even an answer to this Heatran. The Heatran can reign free!
It hits this Magma Storm, its signature move. It paces quite quickly to it, gets the first shield from the Galarian Moltres.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, Heatran doesn't even need to go up to the Stone Edge in some matchups. The Magma Storms just chunk so much that it's enough. Getting the shield here will prove quite detrimental, as the Galarian Moltres in the back also looks quite decent. Galax going up a lot of energy here. Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's an amazing play.
He doesn't throw the rock slides. He doesn't throw the Brave Bird just before the rock slides to make sure it survives. It's CMP styles on the second one. Does this Brave Bird KO, Ilya?
I do believe it will. Even though 5 HP are missing, it should do. And it doesn't quite. I guess the 5 attack do matter that much.
Wow, and this is great. Stunfisk able to take the last shield from the Talonflame. He farmed so much energy, he's able to Sucker Punch down. Can it reach the last Brave Bird before it faints from the Fire Spin? No, he makes sure to throw the Ancient Power.
Not risking it. Kind of miscounting, it appears. Or just knowing how good the Heatran is, trying to preserve it. Also still has 2 shields remaining, so I guess shielding this Ancient Power is not that bad a call, considering the squishiness of our 4-legged friend.
Yeah, we have neutral Magma Storms to give to everyone. Here throws the Dragon Claw. Maybe Heatran is going to choose to shield this because it's quite low already, even though it's a resisted move. Throws the last shield and goes for double up on the Magma Storm, throwing the first one right now.
I am very surprised by this play. Magma Storm double resisted by the Tyrant. I'm not quite sure this is the correct option here.
Maybe just trying to chip it just enough where Sucker Punch plus Ancient Power KOs. The Tyrant going on a rampage here, reaching the Ancient Power, gonna do massive damage on this Galarian Moltres.
Oh yeah, the Moltres almost going down. The Pillow-Swine grabbing some energy here. And Kale trying to chunk the Galaxy's Pillow-Swine a bit with the Ancient Power before coming back in with Heatran. I am afraid the Heatran will definitely go down to an Avalanche at this point. So Kale is forced to throw the Magma Storm here, but at this point the resisted Dragon Tails will be able to KO the Heatran.
That was great counting by Kale, making sure to throw on the CMP tie that Heatran definitely wins, but I'm afraid it's a bit too low, and Tyrant is able to Dragon Tail down. Even though Heatran kind of reigned free, he was a bit too shield hungry, right? He spent 2 shields on it, and it still wasn't able to take out the entire team.
Yeah, I guess the Tyrant without Earth Power or Iron Head just is not quite good enough a matchup. However, also have to commend Galaxy's play with the Galarian Moltres, being disciplined enough to know that going over 100 energy is not always bad, especially with a Brave Bird user.
Yeah, he was able to make sure he lived that rock slide. CMP tie on the second Brave Bird, making sure to maximize Sucker Punch damage. So debuff Brave Bird, probably he was expecting a KO, wasn't quite enough, but puts it low enough where you can get a farm down after. I think it was a great play by Galax. Unfortunate that the Heatran, even with 2 shields, wasn't able to pull through here. But he did have a great call with the Tyrant, no shielding that double up on the Magma Storm. It could have been a Stone Edge, right, which would have been massive damage, but making the right call, making sure that...
anymore, Jocks.
Yeah, exactly. So
Galax spent both his shields on the Moltres.
Oh, then I wonder what Kale was thinking. Maybe he was thinking that it was enough cheap damage where Sucker Punches plus Ancient Power would have KO'd the Tyrant, and he wanted that Magma Storm for the Pillow-Swine in the back.
Mayhaps even forgetting the effectiveness and that the rock typing adds another layer of resistance to the Tyrant. Expecting it to do a bit more and being able to Sucker Punch it down in order to have a Brave Bird stored for the Pillow-Swine later. Didn't quite work out, but we'll see in a minute how Game 3 goes. And if he still brings the Heatran, Game 1, it just sat on the sideline and he won that game. But now that it actually was part of the action, it didn't quite do as well as we hoped.
Yeah, so I'm kind of sad here in a meta where fire types are supposed to be dominating. We have a tyrant here being the big mean Pokemon double resisting that fire damage and making sure that Heatran didn't shine through. We saw also the debut from the Piloswine here in the matchups. We were talking about how good it was neutrally, but I guess it can't do enough versus a Heatran, right? It was able to get the Powder Snow down. We have the second game already, the third game actually, the decisive game, and we have Piloswine into the Jiffis. This is a positive matchup for the Piloswine.
It is indeed. The high horsepower will almost one-shot KO the Galarian Stunfisk, I'm pretty sure, being an incredible move that is not accessible by a lot of Pokemon. Going for the Avalanche bait here, though, and it does not work out. However, as we know from Master League, Mamoswine into Dialga, you also want to go straight Avalanche, so perhaps Galax is cutting out a piece of that matchup.
Yeah, we have our Dialga in Galarian Stunfisk going for the Earthquake. Not enough to KO. Piloswine just hangs on, deploying the last Avalanche. Will it grab a shield here, or will Cali be content to letting it go? It does let it go, and Piloswine wins switch. But it's a Sucker Punch down here on the super effective.
The Heatran is going to have a decent time against the Moltres. However, if Galax decides to... Oh, and Galax does decide to come into Talonflame. The Heatran might have a field day with the Moltres after this matchup.
Yeah, that's an interesting play by Galax. I guess he didn't want to go into the mirror behind energy, but the Sucker Punches are neutral, and the Ancient Power is going to one-shot the Talonflame.
And Galax, of course, also knows this, especially from earlier. He also shielded the Rock Slides, and here he has to shield the Ancient Power. The double effective damage is not something Talonflame enjoys a lot. The Sucker Punches also chunk quite a decent amount, though the Incinerates, of course, do a significant amount more.
Yeah, getting the last shield here with the Talonflame, maybe content to just putting all his chip on it to shield, trying to maybe get the farm down here. He has to throw in the fly. I think he would reach a last Ancient Power just before the Incinerate registered.
Galax definitely respecting that possibility, even if it was not real, still has to make sure it does not happen. And I'm curious now, he might have swapped just a bit late, and he did indeed. Heatran reaching the Stone Edge here, will it KO the Moltres? I think it should.
Yeah, Heatran with the massive attack here. I think Galax was just a bit too slow getting into the Galarian Moltres. I understood the idea, trying to store that fly, so you can Ancient Power plus fly in the end game, but that gave just enough energy to Kale Special to reach the Stone Edge, and Heatran is victorious! He's undefeated in the tournament, let's go, baby!
We love to see it. Heatran represent the best Magma Toad out there. No Toad is just as good as him. I might be glazing Heatran, but apparently it's not quite for naught.
Yeah, we're gonna bring back the rest of the casters to see their impressions. But I guess having Stone Edge here was kind of clutch, right? Because the Stone Edge coverage was really good versus the double flying team, at least.
Though admittedly, game 2 he might have just won if he had run Earth Power or Iron Head to one-shot the Tyrant.
True, it's a double-edged sword for sure. What do you guys think, Spleen, Zuko?
Well, I'm wondering that if he goes Stone Edge on the Tyrant, it should do also a ton of damage, rather than throwing double resisted or triple resisted charge move. So yeah, I guess I did enjoy really watching that Heatran gameplay. Like we were saying earlier, those grassroots tournaments are also super interesting because we do see some mons that you are not used to see in GBL, for example, having some play, having some versatility, and also kind of showing that in the right hands, every mon is interesting to play.
Exactly. That Heatran has proved that not only it had play, but was clutch in every matchup it has been facing. That Stone Edge miss was only on other sides in game 2. Took back the W in the game 3. Showed that, yeah, I'm Heatran. I can one-shot everything with that Stone Edge. What is that Galarian Moltres? It's not on my screen anymore. Yeah, Heatran just proving that it was the GOAT in that matchup. Very impressed. Kale also defeating one of our top play Pokemon player. Like as we can see, the underdog like took the win. It's also a great thing about grassroots. It's everybody is on Spacia metas, we'll say, like restricting with a restricted pool of Pokemons, and prove that even if you don't have the same experience, you can also fight back to our top trainers. Our top trainers, like what we think are the top trainers in the official circuit. It's very interesting.
I just gotta say that I think we can hereby nominate Kale Special the best E-Trend player in the world, because besides grassroots tournaments, he already brought it in the play Pokemon circuit. He beat regional champion Nighttime Clasher with it, so he knows his E-Trend matchups. It's a viable Pokemon. Don't let anyone fool you otherwise.
Well,
that is so real.
It's definitely a viable Pokemon until it meets the Marowak. But yeah.
Yeah, we don't talk about Mud Slappers here. They're banned for a reason. They're mean, and I don't like them.
Mudflappers
one thing that is also interesting in terms of what we just saw in those two first rounds is also accessibility, because we did see a lot of players running the Galarian Moltres. Actually, the Galarian Moltres can only be caught through that Delhi Incense, and if you don't use a Master Ball to get yours, it's a bit, let's say, like throwing a coin in the air and praying it will stay in your Ultra Ball. I'm assuming, but same with the Itron actually, because you do need to trade and to have some IVs, allowing it to be Great League eligible. So maybe just throwing that out there. Those months are really interesting, but we might need, let's say, more accessibility around it.
Yeah,
but
we've
also
seen one so far on each account, and that was during 5 days. You had 5 days to do, I want to say, 6 raids to get access to the Heatran, which then has to be traded. So it's not exactly the most accessible Pokemon.
So,
however, what I would like to highlight here is we've all mentioned grassroots so far, and we've seen a Magmar on our screens, we've seen Heatran, which typically are just an oh no when you play Autorect, but here we see these Pokemon truly be able to shine, and this is the beauty of grassroots, and a healthy grassroots circuit, which is only possible with the help of volunteers like the referee team, the meta creation team, and of course the community, because we can't have a healthy grassroots circuit without the players, of course. And another thing that is needed, unfortunately, is sponsors and donations. With us giving a prize pool to these tournaments, somebody needs to cover it, and it's not super easy to us volunteers and admins like Adalian himself to just put out this money for a tournament. And besides that, the servers for the tournaments also need a bit of money at least to be able to be ran. So please consider donating to the Ko-fi of Devon and support the cause.
I'm sure our stream runner can put the link on chat, or you can just visit devon.gg, and I'm sure it will take you to the Ko-fi link. Getting back to the matchup, while we were still waiting for some matchups on round 2 to end, a typing that we haven't seen so far, and it was a feature, it was added on the meta development, it was electric. And we're seeing G-Fisk being so dominating. We're seeing also the Pillow-Swine, the Needle Queen. I'm guessing they don't have enough coverage to be able to shine here, at least from now. We do have some pseudo electric types like the Thunderfang Steelix that got a buff recently in the season update, and I think it could be interesting because it has pretty decent neutral matchups, having access to both Breaking Swipe that has a 50% chance to debuff your attack, or Psychic Fangs that has a 100% chance to debuff your defense. So I'm quite interested interested to see if people find their ways around of the ground types and make their electric type shine, so these flyers don't feel so free.
Yeah, but I think you actually explain a bit why we don't see electric so far. I mean, the primarily answer to a fire dominated meta is definitely ground, and electric gets just almost walled by ground. So having, like, let's say a fire plus an electric really opens you up to in my opinion, too much weakness to ground.
So, regarding ground types, I've just checked. Out of 53 players that we have in the tournament, 45 are running Galarian Stunfisk. That is just how much you need that ground type coverage, and Galarian Stunfisk just proves to be the best one out of them.
That's one of the
I guess that's that Azumarill / Medicham / Drapion type of usage in the Open Great League.
Thinking of that, maybe we can see some Madman or Madgirl running Electivire with that Community Day move, for example. It was
there is 0 Electivire in the tournament, unfortunately.
Yeah, too bad.
Electric types, I've scrolled through the teams, and electric types are rather scarce. The first one I see is Malmetal by Riblet, but it's not an electric type.
Yeah,
it's not. Thunder Shock. Then Typhlosion with Thunder Punch. Then there's a good couple of blank spots until you see the next electric type move even. Then there's the Steelix, another Steelix, and a Typhlosion on the same team. So what people are opting for is mostly the electric type coverage rather than the actual Pokemon.
I think the main issue with electric types is the first issue is that they are frail, and the second issue is that there is such a meta-oriented with fire that applies a ton of damage, and like the presence of ground types such as like Pilosan as we saw, but also the omnipresence of Galarian Stunfisk that makes that kind of shuts down the electric being either so frail or having other Pokemon that match the electric typing with like Steelix, like Typhlosion, being pseudo electric types and able to fit that role without being electric and having that like a kind of ground weakness. Like Typhlosion can beat Galarian Stunfisk. Togedemaru, Electivire, Emolga, things like that cannot, definitely cannot.
Okay,
but
so
I'm thinking to an electric that could have been interesting. That is the Heliolisk. Because it has access.
Actually, it's banned because it has access to Mudslap.
I was just thinking
a couple of the electric types that have that coverage, like the Vikavolt, like the Heliolisk, that have access to Mudslap, which could have had some play. They were banned to make sure that the fire types don't have that many frenemies per se.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But something that speaks volumes is that some typings don't have as much coverage as they should, and that's why this Ingot Cup is so interesting, right? Because fire types are very well known for one being very clunky and they don't really have the best coverage moves versus its counters, and two, you have one or two that dominate completely, like Talonflame, for example, in the Open Great League, or even Typhlosion, and make the other ones kind of irrelevant. Though we did see that Shadow Alolan Marowak be doing well in Open Great League once this season in LASC, which was pretty cool. I was really happy seeing that.
For sure.
That was quite cool. I just checked the list again, and we have a total of 8 actual electric types, most of which are unique picks, funnily enough. We have 2 Emolga, we have 3 Raichu, and everything else is unique. We have a Dedenne, we have a Galvantula, we have a Zapdos. We have a lot of Typhlosion and a lot of Steelix, which seem to be the most popular electric types.
Running Galvantula is mad in a fire type centric meta, but
it has Energy Ball. Surely it's fine, right?
yes, Energy Ball, which is very neutral into all those fire types.
No, it's fine. We have Discharge for the fire types, and we have Energy Ball for the G-Fisk. It's fine.
The Galvantula is not the most spicy thing on their team. They are also running Arbok.
Wow.
And Darmanitan.
Wow.
But they are also 1-1.
That's impressive, and
They
it's
did manage to win a round.
what is even more impressive is that I don't have Arbok and the Darmanitan built, and I have more than 500 mons built for Great League. So
Same.
You've
No,
been
Arbok?
slacking, Spleen.
Arbok though, Dragon Tail Acid Spray, not that bad.
yeah, that you need to prioritize at some point. So far, I'm working on other projects, other crazy projects.
Spleen,
Yeah.
watch it. Arbok is only one good move update away from being the top meta
yeah.
Pokemon.
No, maybe not top meta, Ilya, but no, for sure. I mean, what we have seen recently is that really almost every Pokemon is like one move set, one move update, a way of being really good. Some of them, Starmie is a great example, and I've been running it, for example, in Neutral League. Super interesting.
Starmie took like 4 move updates though. Power Gem had to be buffed massively. They had to add Psywave to the game, and then still buff Psywave because it wasn't good enough at first, and then add it to the moveset.
But still, I mean, I think that's what we all want, to have the most diversity, the most diverse move pool. It's going to just increase the fun, at least for me.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why whenever you catch Pokemon on any event, you have to keep a specimen of each, just in case in 2 years' time they're gonna buff it, because that's what happened to people that didn't keep their Shadow Marowaks, evolved them into a Alolan Shadow Marowak, and they were a step behind on the. I'm so happy I got my Marowak though, because that thing is insane.
So
It completely destroyed this meta, by the way.
A funny story for you, Jokes, if you want. So actually, I had one Shadow Marowak before, but the only reason was that I messed up and I evolved it before before too early, before actually the Marowak event. So that's how I got my Marowak, Shadow Marowak. That is a beast currently, but everyone was just liking it. But another example is really the Galarian Weezing. So because most of the people didn't kept let's say a Shadow Weezing, for example, because let's be honest, it's not good. But with the last event that you could evolve it, a lot of people just didn't get a chance to get a Shadow Galarian Weezing.
Yep, and I forgot to evolve a normal one into a Galarian Weezing. Like, I have both Shadow ones, but I don't have a normal Galarian Weezing that is great for Great League. My bad, I guess.
I mean, those ones still show up in raids from once in a while, so it's not the end of the world, I guess. I think our round 3 is about ready. We have another pair coming up soon. We have Jackaloco, who, funny enough, already won one of these tournaments in the International Showdown LATAM edition back in November. He won the invite, and he won the $100, right? So he's looking to maybe stack up the Infinity Stones, trying to see how he stacks up versus the Europe's very best here in the Devon Corp tournament. Before we get more players in, there's some of the loud species that I thought they would be quite meta, but I'm not seeing them as much, such as Araquanid. I think Araquanid would be pretty interesting because it has such a great matchup into Umbreon. It destroys Umbreon completely, and it has the Water Pulse coverage that has been buffed that can eat the Galarian Stunfisk for neutral. Galarian Stunfisk only has a nerfed Rock Slide to hit it back with, which is not the best.
I guess you are living in the future, Jokes, because we are going to feature an Araquanid for the next round.
Oh, baby, let's go.
Thank you, and Jokes. We'll see you soon, and we will be seeing our pairing, which are Galethnic and King OWT, which Galethnic, as you said, had that Araquanid on his team.
Yeah, exactly. Two British battlers that are going to face in this round round three. Kaletnik is really well known for running spicy and making those crazy YouTube videos, if I remember correctly. And on the other side, King OWT. Is doing quite very well recently. I think it was day 2 in the last PP tournament.
I think it was close to day 2. I think he barely did not make it. But it was like his first or like his second play Pokemon tournament, and he has always been doing well in the grassroots circuit, if I recall correctly. Oh, he was 5th in Birmingham, so definitely
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I think I remember him actually getting rid of one of my teammates, so that's why for that day two spot. But for sure, two players that are used to those grassroots plays. I know they are also quite active in factions as well. For example, so really looking forward about that.
They are quite active in team tournaments.
And yeah, I was just about to ask you that actually, if you have any insight on the matchup and something that you are expecting to see on each other's side.
I see that both of them have Umbreon, but one of them runs that Spacier movesets, which with Psychic to hit Toxapex for super effective. But obviously is being hit back by that not having last resort, which is more neutral into like a fellow Umbreon or like Raticate that we have not seen yet. We see both players having Magmar, so we may see some Magmar actions. Maybe
yeah, they are actually sharing 4 out of 5 out of 6 months together, which is the Galarian Stunfisk, the Magmar, the Talonflame, the Umbreon, and the Toxapex, with the only difference that you just pointed out, that's the moveset on the Umbreon. But the main difference is the Araquanid against that Piloswine.
Yep. And we'll be jumping into game 1. What will the trainer show us? And
yeah, exactly.
Umbreon leaning to a shiny Stunfisk.
Yeah, exactly. That's a fairly neutral lead between that is going to come out to if you are shielding that earthquake or not from King WOT, opting to throw that foul play right before Kaletechnique is reaching the nuke Zuko.
Definitely tries to land the earthquake. No shielded by King WT. Obviously gives a bit of edge to Kaletechnique, does respectable amount of damage, while on the neutral side, Umbreon should get very nice catch onto that Magmar. Kinda weird to tank a very flamebound.
But very, very interesting, and I think that was a way to try to lure out something, and we do see that Talonflame that is coming in, and the Magmar building up quite quickly some energy, and is going to throw a first Scorching Sand.
Could have thrown that Scorching Sand a bit earlier to get that to attack chance debuff, and we see no attack debuff from the two Scorching Sand that we see. King WT is setting up his Talonflame with a Flame Charge, getting that attack buff, and what will...
And Kaletechnique is going to go for that aggressive shield farm down on the Talonflame, but not before having to shield that fly. And we do see that King OWT is reacting super fast because he doesn't want to give too much farm to the Talonflame, and is swapping with his Galarian Stunfisk.
Kalethnik opting to not throw an optimal charge move timing, but gets that attack debuff from the flame charge and gets the shield as well. Opting to shield that rock slide, which would almost knock out that Talonflame, then goes back to throwing another flame charge that will be able to pick up that KO, or another shield. Gets the shield, which is a good play from King OWT with very good usage from that Stunfisk.
Gets the shield, banking again some more energy on that Galarian's Stunfisk. That rock slide, like you were mentioning, Zuko, is going to knock out the Talonflame, and now can Kalethnik Galarian Stunfisk. What a nasty catch on that 1 HP Talonflame. That's definitely going to be a game changer for King OWT, Zuko.
Definitely. All that energy being wasted to that Talonflame with barely no HP. King OWT coming back to the field with that Umbreon having so much HP and being so fast.
Yeah, exactly. And I think at this range, the Umbreon can even tank another Earthquake. But the foul play is going to be launched. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is going to be enough to knock out the Galarian Stunfisk. And what a dominant performance in game 1 for King OWT. That catch on the Talonflame was
game changer.
Yeah, it was huge, and he was already in a good position, but that really set up the end game in his.
It definitely gives like a hit to your mental. You need to prepare more mentally to get on the second game and say, oh yeah, I need to be careful about my opponent because he's very, very good, and I really need to wait some turns, throw on proper timing, or like not be too fast on my decision, and maybe think about it more and think about my game plan again. I think Kalethnik's game plan was well-rounded. That Magmar did like a good amount of damage to that Talonflame actually. For Pokemon that was completely the entire moveset of Magmar, but maybe not well-rounded enough to be able to clutch that win in the end.
I think I think Kalethnik had the idea because I do understand why he decided to actually leave the opening matchup in the lead with the Stunfisk, trying to preserve the Stunfisk, knowing that Talonflame was for sure hiding in the back, and that's why he used the Magmar actually to lure out the Talonflame. But at the same time, that foul play did so much damage to the Magmar, and actually was even made it easier for King OWT to get even more energy on the turn anymore, because you can just ramp up your attack with those flame charge, and they are doing some respectable damage to the Stunfisk.
Even if you shield the flame charges, what prevents the Incinerate to do so much damage to you? Like it does so much damage. Being boosted, everything.
And at the same time, you are with your fast attack that is much that is not doing so much. Let's move to game 2, and this time we have the opposite. We have Kalethnik leading the Talonflame into the Galarian Stunfisk. Let's see, Zuko, how those two players are going to play that out.
As we saw in the previous game, when Talonflame is up shields, it will be able to take the edge onto that Galarian Stunfisk, being a bit slower now to the charge attacks, and Flame Charge and Incinerate are playing so much pressure. Right away, we see a catch from King.
Yeah,
Flame Charge, very impressive. It takes no damage into the Umbreon.
Yeah, exactly. Very interesting. I'm curious to see. Yeah, Kalethnik is going to go for that fly now that he has boosted his attack, trying to get a shield, but no shield on King WT. That is just going to use his Umbreon just as a damage sponge there, Zuko.
Definitely use it as damage sponge and try to lure out that Toxapex for that Talonflame in the back. Kalethnik doesn't fall for it. Comes back with that Stunfisk, tanks all the damage it can from that Humbrian. That does respectable damage, and maybe we'll throw an earthquake at some point on the matchup.
Yeah, probably trying to go until 100 energy before throwing, and we do see that landing that earthquake. But look at that, you need an earthquake to take down red HP Umbreon, which is sad in a way. But now here comes the Talonflame, and we do see Kaletnik reaching that rock slide and grabbing the first protected shield on King OWT side, Zuko.
Definitely. Kaletnik lets himself being found down. Definitely not. Frowns a good amount of energy, banks the energy for later on in the matchup, comes back with the Toxapex. Toxapex being met by Stunfisk. Stunfisk frying the Earthquake being no shielded by Toxapex. Toxapex will take a good chunk, but not enough. Not enough.
That's a lot of chunk. Even if it's a super effective damage, that Brian is not going to knock out the Stunfisk. But let's find out, because it's putting itself in a range that it might have to throw a rock slide now. Very interesting. And Kaletnik is going to let that go. Can he reach another rock slide on the Talonflame is the question.
And he does not.
Yeah, and that might be a game changer, but there is so much energy on that Talonflame, and let's see what Kaletnik is going to do. He's going to grab a shield here, and is he going to go for that fly? Yes, he does. Will we see protected shield Zuko here?
I don't think so, knowing that the opponent has a potential rock slide in the back, throws the fly right now, being able to pick up the knockout on the Talonflame.
Oh, he barely survived! Oh, but that's huge. The Incinerate goes through, and now the big question is, can it shut it down before it reaches a move? No, it has a fly, and well done, well played by King OWT, taking that game to in style, Zuko.
Yeah, King take the win for that matchup, but it's not over. It's not over. In this circuit, even if you win 2 games, the matchup is not over. We still go to a game 3. Even if the match result is not impacted yet.
Yeah, because the points might be important at the end for the final ranking. So having a loss 1-2 or 0-3 is definitely a different. And at the same time, for the winner, you need to try to get as many 3-0s as possible, just to improve your ranking, also improve your pairing later on in that tournament when all those undefeated players are going to face each other.
So going back into the match, I would have loved to see Kaletnik switch at the end of the matchup. We saw that Talonflame had the fly ready to go at the end, and instead of throwing the fly at that moment, switched to the Stunfisk that had close to rock slide of energy. Doing one more shot, going for the rock slide, making sure that there's no way that Talonflame will be able to CMP to have the charge attack priority into it, and take the shield at that moment and be able to throw the fly in every.
Let's move to game 3, and we do have the Talonflame mirror. I think both opponents are backing the same moveset of Flame Charge and Fly, so no Brave Bird here called, and they're probably going to go straight for the Fly. And we do see Kaletnik actually not going for that charge attack priority and going for the extra Incinerate to grab the energy.
And now we may know who will win charge attack priority, or maybe not.
Yeah, going
for the sneak.
Yeah, going for that flame charge bait, and now they go for an extra Incinerate, and we do see another flame charge, and I think King OWT at this range is just going to shield shield farm down the Talonflame and get so much energy.
Yeah, going for the fly right away to not be not rack up too much energy. Goes for the fly, does a good amount of damage into that Magmar. Not close to knockout.
Yeah, but grabbing protected the first protected shield from Kaletnik here with the second fly, and now bringing the Stunfisk into the field, and let's see how much a Scorching Sand for that Magmar is going to do into the Stunfisk. Well, it's a respectable amount of damage, but the Stunfisk gets the farm down, and now that's the big question. Is he going to go for... Oh no, he's going to go straight for the Earthquake, and Kaletnik going for the no shield, and now at this stage he has to be able to match at it down, Zuko.
Definitely, I think King will be able to reach a last second Earthquake, gets to it, and Kaletnik elects to no shield to actually conceding. And to be honest, great recognition there from King OWT in that opening matchup. Putting the shield on the Talonflame, getting the energy, and just being able to demolish the rest of the backline afterwards. Definitely, King was so ahead in this matchup. Like, I was about to KO the Talonflame, was able to ramp up enough energy for the next matchups. It made the Kaletnik on his foot, and his back foot very early. Let's discuss. Let's
discuss this with Ilya and João.
Welcome back. What did you think about this matchup, Ilya?
In game 2 at the end, I believe Kaletnik had a win condition, but
definitely
both of them slightly misplayed that end game, because King OWT was convinced that the fly would KO, but the correct play would have been to go for one more Incinerate so he wouldn't take damage from the sneak in. And that way he would have been able to just secure the Talonflame KO, but Kaletnik then threw the fly instead of the next Incinerate, so they would simultaneously KO each other. And that worked out for King quite well. I imagine he was quite stressed when the fly didn't knock out the opposing Talonflame.
Yeah, kind of a dominant display by King, even though there were some misplays on both halves. But it's kind of tricky. This Incinerate damage, even though it's supposed to be resisted, it's not really, because it's such a good move. Even in the mirror, it chunks so much. And we saw something interesting, which was a catch of the flame charge on the Umbreon, and then it took a boosted fly that took pretty much half of the Umbreon away. So this Talonflame proving that with the Flame Charge moveset, it can be a quite solid generalist in this meta, because boosting Fly, which is already a crazy good move, very efficient, very good stats, proved kind of good for Kingo.
Yeah, I from what I have seen so far, I tend to think that Flame Charge seems to be the way in this meta, mainly because of the threats you are seeing on the field, and having Flame Charge and being, for example, able to throw that into a Galarian Stunfisk to ramp up your attack, and then come out of this matchup with a boosted Talonflame to do crazy damage afterwards, seems like a good strategy to me.
Definitely, that moveset is way more neutral, but gives the edge in longer matchups, and in the end of the day, it has proven that King was the winner. But we will who will win that charge attack priority in the mirror.
Yeah, higher shield scenarios definitely will favor running Flame Charge over Brave Bird, as it means you have more time to deal a significant amount of damage with Incinerate. As we have seen in the mirror match, Jox, you just mentioned it, even though it's resisted, it still chunks a lot, and in the third game we saw that exactly. He landed the King landed the fly and just realized, okay, but I can just farm him down and leave with 1,000,000 energy here.
Yeah, and kind of interesting that the main counter versus Talonflame, which is probably Toxapex, right, isn't really that hard of an answer, especially versus a boosted Talonflame. And that's such a bad matchup versus Galarian Stunfisk, where the brine just tickles and those poison jabs are double, triple resisted. You can't really farm down the G-Fisk. So even though you tanked the Earthquake quite decently, I think we saw pretty much from full health that EQ did about, 70% or so. The brine just doesn't do enough damage as water coverage, so I feel like trying to hunt the Talonflame with the Toxapex can prove costly when Galarian Stunfisk is so flexible in this meta.
Yeah, especially like you are mentioning, Toxapex is a very slow Pokemon because it's a bulky Pokemon. You can't have it all, right? And if for example the Talonflame has like a one Incinerator advantage, it's just so much going to outpace you even to the brine so much in a way that it's going to put you in a situation where you do have a counter to a fire type, but you are in a position where you actually need to shield if you want to get through that matchup.
Yeah, it seems that is the main question of this meta. Find the core breaker to Talonflame and Galarian Stunfisk without water types outside of Toxapex, which just does not do that job. Where is my Shadow for Alligator to break this core?
I think that could be quite a good exercise. While we're still waiting for a bit of the round 3 matchups to end, maybe let's try to brainstorm here. We have some. Sorry, what?
What do you think about Typhlosion then?
I do believe Typhlosion is pretty much the best solution to that question. The only issue is that Thunder Punch obviously doesn't do anything to Galarian Stunfisk, so you rely on the Incinerate damage, which you will do a lot of, but at the same time it will cost you all your shields.
Yeah, exactly. That's because you do. Actually, the Galarian Stunfisk outpaces you to the Rock Slide, so yes.
Yeah, and being non-shadow is kind of costly in that scenario, right? Because your Incinerate just doesn't add up as much, where you could probably maybe even throw a Thunder Punch to just finish a red HP Galarian Stunfisk. So yeah, I do like Typhlosion. It does a little bit of some, maybe as a switch, could be interesting. Have a slight energy advantage versus that Galarian Stunfisk, just to make sure that you outpace to those Blast Burns versus the super effective Rock Slide. I think while we still have a bit of time, let's try to think regarding the meta. We have some interesting picks that were introduced to maybe balance it out. Is there something that stands out to you guys that isn't being used and maybe could be interesting?
I was thinking of Munchlax, but I guess the access of only Tackle and Body Slam, like at least Tackle as a fast attack, makes the matchup into Galarian Stunfisk not stand out as much as a safe Pokemon, as it is bulky, as now a kind of buffed Bulldoze, but maybe the balance with Tackle makes the matchup way iffier than it should be. I don't know, I was expecting more Munchlax than that, and maybe it's not the play. We definitely see a lot of Galarian Stunfisk and Umbreon though for the bulky side, so
I actually absolutely agree with you. I would think that Munchlax would be quite decent considering how neutral it is, but then I remember they nerfed Body Slam, and it just feels so bad now with the 35 energy. You always felt like it was such good value, but now it just feels like the average, oh, it's a cheap move, but does it do anything for me? Not really.
Yeah, it's something that I thought it was quite neutral. Oh, sorry, Swin, go for it.
No. I was just about to comment on the Bulldoze. I mean, it used to be a crap move. Now it's a cheap crap move.
Yeah, something that I think it could be quite neutral in this meta is not really being used a ton is that Arctivax, because I feel like having access to the Ice move as a Dragon gives it a lot of play versus the Galarian Stunfisk, and Dragon Breath plus Dragon Claw at 35 energy gives it pretty good neutral play. So I'm kind of wondering why players aren't really going for it. Maybe thinking that Talonflame being so good as a fire type user and our dragon not really walling it doesn't do quite the role that it needs for it to support a team. But I don't know. Something interesting here is that we're seeing quite a few matchups with Europeans that are gonna meet up soon in the international championship for the play Pokemon scene. I'm wondering if some of them take this grassroots experience, having experience with weird picks per se, and that gives them an edge in open Great League scenario where someone can't really surprise them running a Spice pick, or themselves pick a Spice pick. Oh, this was quite good in grassroots and it kind of has interesting play in open Great League. I wonder if I can use that. Maybe some of them could get some practice in before the...
What? Magmar? I've faced this before. I know the count.
Might be.
Our Arctibax would be a great pick in that regard. I think Arctibax from the mons we are seeing in the allowed species, at least, I think Arctibax might be one, if not the one with the most neutral play, I would say, in terms of the Great League meta. No?
I disagree.
I do believe it's one of them, but Galarian Moltres is here, Talonflame is here.
I'm talking about allowed species, not so allowed typing. So the ones they add out of there. Otherwise, I'm on the same train than you guys. The Moltres has just proven his value over and over in all the tournaments we have seen recently.
I think the pick here that's not being used and it has played both in Play Pokemon and in this meta is Thunderfang Steelix, because it breaks the Zoomerl Drapion core and would scrap those flyers out of the sky. I'm here for the Steelix propaganda, baby.
Drapion core?
It does. It has pretty good play into both. Let's be honest here. It resists Poison Sting. It has super effective Thunderfang.
It gets free shotted by Aqua Tails for sure. I guess if you run Shadow Steelix, it might get two shotted even.
Nah, it's fine. You can run regular, just let it go and set up your Feraligatr or whatever you have as a glass.
But you basically have to run Breaking Swipe in order to reach charge moves fast enough against... Yeah, okay, so you need to run double 35 energy move.
Yeah, I think that's the play for sure. I think it's a pretty good setup mon that has played in Play Pokemon, and I think it could be useful here, even though it's Steel type, so it does take super effective damage from that Incinerate from Talonflame, but at least it has fast move damage, right? It can do some damage versus the Talonflame with the Thunderfang. So it could be maybe even set up some ADB type strategies with the Galarian Stunfisk, where you use one to draw out, I don't know, the Pillow-Swine, and you try to sweep with the other. I think it could be a good pick.
So the mon I was a bit more expecting to see is the Cradily. Having access to that rock and grass typing, actually, I thought that was quite interesting, especially because that's one of the few grass types that can beat Talonflame, for example.
One shot steal with Rockslide now, with the Rockslide nerf with Cradily. I'm just unsure. Yeah, Rockslide barely does not one-shot the Talonflame, doing 90% damage.
Yeah, but so if you can bullet sit it down, it's even better. I mean, but more because looking at everything, I think it's a fairly neutral mon actually, with a decent play into anything but poison types basically.
I think we're heading towards the fourth round, and we already have some matchups ready to go. Who's undefeated so far? I think Kingo, who's been just on stream, is undefeated, and he's facing SS Torn, which could be a really cool matchup to see. I'm not sure if it's going to be showcased on stream or
the
world champion.
1 second. The current winner of this meta is Ryblood. He is 9-0. He's undefeated in single games even.
Oh, what is he running? Oh, he's running the Melmetal.
He
is running a Melmetal.
A Devon Corporation world champion, if I recall. So definitely one of the master of the grassroots formats.
Maybe we can get him on stream, maybe to showcase that Melmetal. Though I do think that Steelix is a bit cooler than Melmetal. Just saying. I can see the Melmetal doing a similar role there, being a pseudo electric type.
It's okay, Joao. I totally understand you. I love Heatran. You love Steelix. Everybody has their favorite.
Yeah,
I just don't want to be a meta slave, you know. I just want my spice picks to rule supreme.
You know what?
But yeah, I do understand
Pokemon.
the Melmetal pick, right? Because it has access to superpower, which would deal super effective damage versus the Galarian Stunfisk. Though the Thundershocks are double resisted, right? So it's kind of a iffy matchup for sure.
You know, I would have loved to see one Pokemon especially, which was EUIS Avalugg. And when I tried to check if it was there on the tournament, it wasn't. So I guess my bad on that. But it would have been super cool to see Avalugg being featured with that Rock Slide Icy Wind movesets and the Powder Snow as well. That would have been so cool to see some play. Maybe.
There is unfortunately not anybody Avalugg. I would have also loved to see it because it's rather rare. I think this is like the second time that we were able to get it. Now that it is in the weekly research box, the first time was, of course, during the Go Tour Sinnoh event, but it was very rare from the very rare field research task that nobody actually was doing, pretty much. I had one from back then, I traded it, got a fairly decent IV spread, but now I've been getting quite lucky with the weekly boxes, and
I've been trying to mirror them actually recently, but I didn't get a good IV yet on this.
Yeah, it would have been so cool to see at least one.
But I was actually thinking to that. Same for Amora, that is in the allowed species. They are sharing the same typing, and that rock plus ice typing. Is
it has access to Thunderbolt, right? So it could be one of those electric types we were mentioning.
Yeah, for the Amora indeed, and also you could even imagine, let's say, a Rock Throw Amora. I think it has access to
a hard check Talonflame.
Oh, does it have access to Rock Throw as well? I thought
I'm not entirely sure. I think it has Tackle. Whereas
I'm not sure. I think
it would have been definitely banned if it had Rock Throw. We can't have those fire types with getting hurt like that.
But still with Powder Snow actually.
It's not Tackle. It has Frost Breath and Powder Snow.
Yo, buff Frost Breath.
No, but I still think it's.
Right, I think we have our players ready, so we'll say goodbye to Sergio and Nicholas for now. Catch you in a bit. Alright, I think we're gonna have our reigning, defending world champion on display today. He's undefeated so far, he's 9-0.
Not only that, both players have a team, let's say. His opponent is running not only Magmar, but also Rapidash.
Oh, baby!
The Alolan Raticate that we were hoping for, and it has returned. And one of the electric types of the entire tournament in Emolga.
Yo, electric type debut! Let's go, baby! Hopefully, let's see if it gets matched up versus a Talonflame, because it's been running rampant.
I only just now noticed, Jocks. The Rapidash is not running Flame Charge. It has Wild Charge as well.
Oh, baby! The community debut Wild Charge. Yo, let's go! That sounds like an interesting pick, actually. It could be quite flexible, right? Because
I do believe so. Incinerate Drill Run Wild Charge is a very strong moveset.
Oh, I like that pick. From Bafio, who's from Luxembourg, is actually a fellow Portuguese compatriot of mine. So good to have some Portuguese representation here in the higher stage versus none other than the world champion from Devon, Ryblet, who's looking to the side of Ryblet. We haven't seen it showcased much. I don't think it has been on stream yet. I don't think Kalechnik used it, actually. But I'm excited to see what it do, because there's an Umbreon on the other side and an Alolan Raticate, which definitely don't want to see that Araquanid with Bug Bite.
Yeah, so you mentioned Arachne earlier, and it does run Water Pulse indeed, because it does simply need this extra coverage for those fire types, since that is something that I was thinking about. Yeah, sure, it's a water type, but with Bug Bite, fire types are not a good matchup for it, typically.
Yeah, and that Galarian Rapidash is looking mighty scary versus Rapidash.
Not Galarian, it is Kanto.
Not Galarian, it's Kanto actually, yeah. I'm kind of used to for the Galarian to be quite used, especially in GVL, but no, it is the Kanto Rapidash, and it's very... I wonder if the Raticate has been putting in work for Bafio, because it does seem quite neutral into most of the teams. It does have Quick Attack, which is resisted by the Steel-type Galarian Stunfisk, but it is quite bulky as well. And versus Umbreon, for example, you're resisting all the snarls, so you just throw a more efficient return versus the last resort, which is not quite as efficient, and you have yourself a pretty good matchup.
Let's get
here.
into
We have game one already. We have Umbreon Lyn into the Rapidash straight away.
We do see the Rapidash action, and we do see the Raticate as well, which I do believe, even though Quick Attack is resisted by G-Fisk, is not that bad a matchup, because Crunch is just so strong. It does appear both players are, no, never mind. They are not willing to play this matchup out. Bafio just going for the energy advantage and then safe switching into the Raticate.
Interesting play here. I was hoping maybe he would wild charge and dip, a typical strategy for debuffs moves. Chooses to pack up that energy, going for the Crunch versus the Talonflame. Does it get a debuff? It would be kind of costly. It does get the debuff.
Does make the call of no shielding the Crunch here, but also I'm quite surprised by Ryblet not going into the Galarian Stunfisk. He must be predicting some form of ABA, where he will need the Galarian Stunfisk later.
Yeah, maybe he's predicting that Emolga in the back and wants to make sure that the Talonflame is out of its sight. It's going to deploy the first flight, not quite enough to KO. Does it reach another Crunch? No, it gets the farm down.
Oh, not KOing here is actually good for Ryblet. This is just extra energy for the Talonflame and less energy for the Pokemon that will come in here now.
Yeah, here Talonflame ready. Throw the Flame Charge right away. It comes in with Stunfisk. It has resisted Mudshots. This is going to be such a steep farm down.
That certainly is a choice. We've seen it earlier. The Incinerates will do a ton of damage here. And even reaches the next fly due to the pace of free 2-2 with Flame Charge and Double Fly.
When it forces the shield from the Galarian stuff and shielding a resistant move, and that Rapidash is looking pretty good in the back because now this Galarian Surface has energy weight. It goes for the bait. This is kind of a questionable play. You have energy on the Rapidash. Does he choose to no shield?
That is a choice. And Ryblet calls.
He no shields the Rock Slide. And this
Ryblet
is kind of a momentum
makes the
shifter.
call of the century here. Bafio no shielding the Earthquake. Absolutely.
Yeah, now he has the shield still for the Galarian Rapidash moveset. It does have a Drill Run sword, so it has a lot of energy. Choosing to throw one Incinerate, throw the Drill Run. This will probably threaten the knockout.
I do not believe it will quite knock out, but it will put it in one Incinerate range. Now the question is, will it reach the Rock Slide? And it does. It was only one away, so it was a consistent Rock Slide here, getting the shield. And I do believe with the energy on Umbreon stored, Ryblet will take game one. Also, it seems your mouth has muscle memory because you keep saying Galarian.
Holy. I'm sorry about that, but the Umbreon is loaded with energy. It has a lot of health. It throws the first Foul Play, doing such good chip into the Rapidash. It throws another Incinerate, chooses to throw right away. It doesn't want to care about timing, and it gets the knockout here on the Rapidash.
I am a bit sad here. Just for science alone, I would have loved to see how much damage a charge move from that horse does against Umbreon, which, mind you, has the drip with the nice scarf.
Yeah, and here I'm kind of questioning the play from Bafio of storing that energy on Rapidash instead of throwing the Wild Charge right away, because it's such an efficient move, one, and you're in the lead, you're safe to swap out, so just dump the Wild Charge. It's an Umbreon, it's not going to shield, and you get a lot of chip damage on it, which could be pretty good into the end game. Then you can come in with your Raticate, it's already in return range, you're in a pretty good spot in my opinion.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. The Wild Charge could have chunked quite a bit. I assume it does roughly a third, maybe a bit more. With the Incinerates, over half at that point in time. But also would have reached the next Wild Charge within just 2 Incinerates, which is 10 turns. It's not that much. So I do believe that would have worked out quite well. The Raticate did do a decent enough job, but I think letting the Talonflame reach 2 more charge moves was detrimental there.
Yeah, and that rock slide bait when you add energy on the Galarian Rapidash, proven kind of costly.
Galarian
Great
Rapidash?
call. The Rapidash, it's a single Rapidash, Cantonian Rapidash. It's proving kind of costly because, you add energy on both Pokemon, so just take those shields out and maybe could get a knockout with Roran. But I'm guessing he was worried about that Umbreon in the back being so healthy, right? He was trying to maybe store some energy on Galarian Stunfisk before going into the Rapidash, proven that it did not work. Rabbit doing the right call, and they picked up the game 1.
Yeah, we all know Umbreon is an absolute tank. There is a good reason this thing is here. And let's be real, you don't need a super effective Core Breaker into Galarian Stunfisk and Talonflame if you can just have a super neutral Pokemon that will outbulk both of them with the Umbreon. I believe that is the reason why most people are opting to run it. And let's see if Game 2, if the players make different decisions. We see the Araquanid, and it finds the worst matchup, perhaps, with the Emolga.
What a call from the field! He thought Araquanid was safe, the Emolga was carried away, but it's not. Ooh, answers the Galarian stuff with the Raticate.
Because with the Umbreon in the back, he does want the Raticate to be gone. He baited this thing out. At the same time, though, that Raticate is very good with RNG. It got the debuff again.
Yeah, it gets the crunch debuff. I wonder now if it can crunch and farm it all the way down. G-Fisk is so slow to get into these EQs, he needs another EQ to KO this Raticate.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I don't think a Rock Slide will do quite enough here. The crunch, second one does not get the debuff. However, let's be real here. Batheo does not need to keep Switch. He can no-shield here. Farm down with Rapidash with a single Incinerate. Does opt to keep Switch though.
Oh, interesting. Maybe he just wants to make sure that he has that Rapidash, that Emolga safe locked on the Araquanid. Goes for the shield and he gets it. Stunfisk has a Rock Slide loaded.
So here's the big choice, and now he decides, okay, I do not want Switch. I want the energy. Let's see if they come in with the Rapidash for the 20 energy, or with Emolga even, to try to Thundershock down.
Since I think this is a mean Thundershock down.
Quite a bit away.
Oh, okay.
It would be a mean Thundershock down, but the 20 energy on Rapidash was just too inviting. Being able to throw the Wild Charges here, neutral Incinerates while taking resisted Bug Bites. Rapidash, not a super tanky Pokemon, but we see even here, the Bug Bites do not quite do that much. We see the last shield come up from Riblet here.
Yeah, near Araquanid, it's kind of in a rough spot where all the fast move pressure is resisted by both Emolga and Rapidash. It does deploy the Bubble Beam, maybe trying to keep that Umbreon healthy for the back matchup, so it makes sure it has energy and HP for the Rapidash in the back.
Does indeed. I'm wondering what the correct play here is. Oh, going over 100 energy is definitely not the correct play. But Theo here, trying to somehow manage to save the Emolga for later, I assume. Just trying to throw some energy here to waste down the Switch Clock, and then come back into the Araquanid, whilst finishing off this Umbreon with the Rapidash.
Yeah, and here the matchup knowledge coming in clutch for Riblet, knowing that that debuff was kind of crucial, so it made sure that the Umbra tanked safely those two acrobatics that Batheo is about to deploy with the Emolga. It tanks it quite easily, and it goes into the Rapidash to clear the debuff. But the Umbreon has energy.
Immediately. The Umbreon has a lot of energy. However, the Araquanid does not have a lot of energy. It has a slight bit of energy. And with how much energy the Rapidash will be able to gain from this Umbreon, it should easily be able to throw at least one Wild Charge, maybe even two, before a single Bubble Beam is being able to be thrown. And yes, indeed, the Bubble Beam was not activated. Batheo has two Wild Charges stored here, and the Emolga is still in the pack. Oh my god, it's one shot! That is insane.
Oh man, this Rapidash going on a rampant, having two Wild Charges back to back, taking out two of the bulkiest mons in the meta. Rapidash meta, baby, let's go!
The horse pulled through. Batheo rode Rapidash to the victory in this game, which is Riblet's first game loss in the entire tournament, mind you.
Yeah, that's quite an incredible feat. It does have quite a good core breaking potential, that Rapidash, into the Riblet team, and there he was able to set it up perfectly, being able to deploy back-to-back Wild Charge just before the Araquanid was able to activate that Bubble Beam and getting the W.
Yeah, it was quite interesting to see from going Raticate opting to just try to gain switch and then still no shield the second move. I understand it now. In hindsight, it all makes sense. Apparently, Bafio is just a lot better a Rapidash player than me, clearly, because he knew that Rapidash is a lot better when the shields are down. Because Wild Charge, you don't want that to be shielded. You want to just hit it.
And can we talk about that call in the line from Bafio having both Emolga and Rapidash versus an Araquanid lead team? That was such a great call that Araquanid had nowhere to go, even though the Alo and Raticate put in so much work for Bafio game 1, getting that crunch debuff, forcing the Talonflame to dump energy. But yeah, it just a great line call by Bafio, bring both the Emolga and the Rapidash.
I'm curious now, will he bring the Rapidash again and get game 3 with it? Getting the horse through this round would be absolutely incredible. I am already a big fan. It's been quite incredible to watch, really.
Well, let's see if you bet on the right horse. I think the nice way to set it up here, it would be to bring maybe the both Pokemons along with it. We see that Rivlet is already set up. Bafio already locking in the team. I wasn't quite able to see it. We have the Araquanid
Double fire
lead again.
Oh.
Double dog, but it kills up the Eradicate. What a call from Rivlet, doubling down.
Riblet running the same line as the last game. This is not quite as bad for Bafio as it seems, though, since he did opt for the double fire backline, being able to bait out the Galarian Stunfisk perhaps, while still hitting it for super effective damage. I'm assuming that he will take the Bubble Beam and then switch out.
Yeah, I think that would be the correct play, not throwing away this energy that is debuffed. Araquanid unlikely to shield this. This is only really a return, wouldn't do that much damage, and gets off the crunch. Interesting play here. Maybe not comfortable going in with the Magmar, which he does right now. It does have resistance Karate Chop, so maybe he was afraid of that matchup straight up.
Yeah, I'm quite curious on why he opted to stay in with Raticate for so long. What might he be predicting in the back? Oh my lord! Waterfall's almost one-shotting? That is absolutely insane. I did not see that coming.
It does endure to get off the Fire Punch, which will only tickle this Araquanid. This Araquanid is going rampant. Last game, he had no play. Right now, it's core-breaking Bafio so much.
Yeah, the Buck Bites have absolutely chunked this Raticate already into the yellow. Does not come back with Raticate, opts to go for the Rapidash and farm down here, but will have to take a Bubble Beam.
The Incinerate gets off the Bubble Beam. That's such a good... maybe a slight miscount from Bafio, but the Rapidash does need to stay healthy, right? It's the remaining Mon from Bafio, gets the full farm down. Rapidash quite healthy with a lot of energy, but at the shield disadvantage versus two very bulky Mons.
And at -1 attack, do not forget that it never feels good to shield a Bubble Beam, but he kinda had to here. And the Raticate against the Stunfisk here, not a super good matchup down a shield.
Yeah, I like the play from Bafio, storing that double Wild Charge and then switching out, making sure that you don't waste that precious attack versus these two Pokemon. You need as much damage deployed as possible. Getting in with the Raticate, getting off the crunch. That Gifisk is gonna endure though.
Yeah, the Gifisk easily tanks this, still needs another crunch to knock it out. And Riblet opting to go over to the Rock Slide here. I'm not entirely sure this knocks out with the nerf now. It does.
Gets off the Rock Slide just and about to go. Overtaps here. It had already 100 energy. Gets off the Rock Slide, taking the last shield from Bafio. This play might prove costly here in the end game.
I guess the correct horse was Araquanid after all, and not Rapidash.
I mean, it does have more legs, I guess, so maybe it has an advantage on the speed there. The Umbreon not taking as much damage on the drill runs as the Gifisk would. Getting that last shield was so clutch. Here going for the foul play, not enough to KO. Maybe a last resort would have been better, but I think the Umbreon is still quite healthy behind two shields, and it's just going to clean up the game for Riblet. Gets the 2-1. Bafio getting the first loss out of our world champion, but he still endures.
Yeah, perhaps Magmortar would have been a better pick than Magmar, being able to run that Thunderbolt to more safely switch into Pokemon like Araquanid in this very situation. I'm quite curious on why people opted to run Magmar over Magmortar, actually, especially considering the most popular fire type is Talonflame, so Scorching Sands does not even give you the extra coverage. But let's talk with Sergio and Zuko about it. What do you guys think? Would Magmortar be better than Magmar?
I mean, you have seen the bulk of Magmar. If you want to see something that is even less bulky, you can try that Magmortar, I guess.
I mean, to be fair, Magmortar would have been one shot by that water pulse, so Magmar has that going for it.
Could have also immediately switched into it though and just reached a Thunderbolt before the water pulse, admittedly.
What I noticed there is that the first player to take a win out of the world champion is Portuguese. That's the only thing I noticed.
Let's go, baby! We're on the map.
Yeah, I just think Magmortar, like if you're about to play a very squishy mon like Magmar, what about going all out and go Magmortar and be able to have that Thunderbolts, like spam the Thunderbolt into the Talonflame, get the very high attacks, fire punches into the Stunfisk. I don't know. It looks like a great choice to me, and also Magmortar is cooler than Magmar, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess it depends if you're going for the menacing look of Magmortar or just the goofy look from Magmar. I think that's kind of a dealer's choice, to be honest. I was quite a fan of how Ryblet played that game, but I think the Rapidash had a really great showcase here. We were discussing the Typhlosion as that possible pseudo-electric type, but actually the Rapidash proving that Wild Charge coverage is really good.
Yeah, I do agree, and also in that game too, Rapidash really put on an amazing show, proving the versatility. And I think that's, in my opinion, what you should look out from a fire type in those kind of restricted metas. So you are dealing fire type damage with your fast move, and then you have a coverage against flyers and against and with the ground typing as well. So very interesting pick. And if the meta stays the same, I wouldn't be surprised if some other people are going to look out at the horse.
Yeah, definitely.
I also want to highlight. Sorry, Tuko, go for it.
No, go ahead.
I also want to highlight how Ryblet was so sure that the Araquanid lead was the way that he doubled down even though he faced a Molga Rapidash core game 2. He was sure, okay, he's banking on that Raticate, so I'm gonna double down here, make sure that my Araquanid is in place, and it proved kind of a good read, right? Because Buffio went really weak to it, even though maybe a questionable decision staying in with the Raticate. Maybe he wanted to get that chip damage, so the fire punches would be a bit more meaningful in that matchup, but still it took a lot of damage in the process. And that water pulse, my god, it almost one shot from such a Pokemon like Araquanid. It did massive damage.
Hey, considering it doesn't do like that much damage, like water pulse is still a bit of a weak move still, considering how much energy it costs. And Araquanid having like so low attack, honestly very impressive. And considering Magmar is like very frail, like it does a lot of damage. Also considering Buffio's strategies, Araquanid was never placed at the right place. Like it was always onto the Emolga or onto the Rapidash, but Ryblet proving he's not the world champ for nothing. He managed to pivot around and make sure that he had use of that Araquanid by applying either a debuff or giving a very strong attack into the Magmar.
Yeah. I was kind of happy to see, because that summarizes Show 6 Pick 3 so beautifully, which is it's all about the mind games, right? Because Buffio thought they're okay, I got you against the ropes, I made your Araconid look useless, I'm just gonna go soft to it. But Riblet proving maybe that experience and those scrims that he does and all those tournaments that he plays, knowing that that's a common strategy from most people, right? You go so strong against the pick, expecting it to leave them on the bench, and then you try to go weak to it, but Riblet was all upon it. So here the beauty of Show 6, right, where those mind games really come into play.
Much more common is the saying, never change your running system. Riblet lives by the words, never run a changing system. If it doesn't work for the first time, maybe it will the next time. We just keep going with the same thing.
Yeah, but I do totally agree with the comment that Chooks just made. Buffio in that game too are trying to go super hard against that Araquanid, knowing that it's up to Riblet to make a decision afterwards. Do I bring back the Araquanid, or am I scared of that double flying backline or double electric backline in the meantime? And that's really the beauty, and also why most of the competitors are insisting and always saying that Show 6 Pick 3 is the best according to them, mainly because you add that variety to the game. It's not I have 3 months, I'm playing against 3 other random months, and whatever happens, I could have lost that games from the start, even if I'm not facing, let's say, a high caliber player. But with a Show 6 Pick 3, you are rarely in that situation. So even if you don't have a favorable lead, it's really unlikely that, unless you are totally core break by a pick, but it's very unlikely that you don't have a strat or an answer, or that you don't thought about the scenario. Let's say, for example, in the case of Buffio, he leads the Raticate, and he must have, let's say, a scenario where that Raticate is going to face the Araquanid, and then from that, what do? Are you going to crunch and then swap out? Are you going to swap out instantly? And that's really the beauty of Show 6 for me. And we all have been at events, some of us playing, some of us casting, some of us refereeing, but we have seen some crazy matchups where the opponent A is leading super strong against opponent B, and opponent B still finding a way, either by grabbing shield advantage or through the management of his energy to just win the game. And that's the games we want to see as a viewer.
Yeah, and I want to take the opportunity to say, if you do enjoy this Show 6 Pick 3 action, and you know there's a lot of players that are not able to attain those in-person big prize money tournaments like Play Pokemon, Devon is the way for global Show 6 Pick 3 excellency. We have a great meta team, a great group of refs. We have the casters here helping out as well. We're all just committed here to make sure that Show 6 Pick 3 is alive and well. And if you do enjoy this section, make sure to check out our website, devon.gg. Make sure to check out our Ko-fi if you feel like donating, and help us keep this infrastructure together.
Definitely. Now I wanted to ask one last question about the previous matchup. Where was Melmetal? Where was it? Like
Scared of the Rapidash.
Yeah,
that Rapidash was really menacing. I'm not gonna lie, I would be scared to bring Melmetal as well.
Melmetal would melt rather than do anything with the rock slides that are nerfed now. The Incinerates would just hurt far too much. I am not entirely sure Riblet was even able to utilize it at all in the previous rounds, honestly.
Yeah, that's
are in this tournament.
That's exactly my fault, Ilya, there. So maybe it's just a pick there to scare away some things, and to
it is pretty solid into Galarian Moltres, I'd assume.
So far, we are up to round 5 of 6 of the tournament, and we're down to 4 undefeated players. 3 of them already featured on stream: Riotlet, Kingo, Out of Pocket, and then we have POGO Neo as well, and he's running the Steelix! Dude, guys, I told you guys Steelix was viable. Let's go, baby. Yo, I want POGO Neo to take it all the way now.
Maybe
Steelix is the sauce.
This is the sauce. What is
Yeah.
quite interesting to mention here, we are in round 5 out of 6, and we have exactly 4 undefeated players, which means there will be no tie. It is now mathematically impossible for us to have a tie. We're guaranteed to have a single winner of this tournament.
Yup. And this would be great for
What are we rooting
tournament
for?
organizers.
Because we have 4 possible winners, and I'm already taking the Steelix player to win it all, because I have to bet on my boy Steelix. Who do you guys think has a good chance to win it all?
I'm going to go with Pocket. That was your pick, Zuko.
No, I was about to say that Ilya was for sure going for Pockets. I'm going
It's my son.
rather-
I have to root for my son.
I do like when father and sons basically have almost the same age, but it's okay.
No, I was about to say that. I think
that's the
right
beauty
back would
of
probably-
human reproduction.
I'm going for right
Look.
back for myself, so
Look, I'm only his
I'm
stepdad,
leaving
Jock.
Pocket for you.
But yeah, I think this matter really centered around that Galarian Stunfisk Umbreon Talonflame, because to be honest, it's in all 3 of teams except for the Steelix player, because he knows that Steelix is the sauce.
Yeah, surely Steelix is the sauce.
I think we have our matchup ready. We're gonna have featured on stream Kingo versus Out of Pocket. So I reckon that we.
I have to be. Pocket is running crazily, so I have to be Team Pocket there.
Thank you, Ilya and Jock,
guys in a bit.
for the previous cast, and see you soon. Let's talk about the King Pocket matchup now.
Yeah, exactly.
As you said, Pocket has the Cradley, but King has Magmar, so it's cool.
Yeah, actually, they contrary to the previous match, they do have different teams, which will allow maybe different techniques. King OWT, we have seen, is running the double fire with the Talonflame and the Magmar. The rest is pretty standard for the meta with the Umbreon, Toxapex, Stunfisk,
Cool.
and Piloswine. And on the other side, Pocket is going with the, let's say, Cradily and Moltres, a bit as a spice pick, the rest being that core that we have seen almost everywhere with the Stunfisk, Umbreon, Toxapex, and Talonflame. So any pick that is standing out for you, Zuko?
I mean, I'm a big fan of that Magmar. I don't know if it will have some play in there, as we saw previously. Like, it doesn't do enough damage in comparison to the lack of bulk, but it's still cool showing. What I do think might show some play is Cradily. I hope we will see a good amount of Cradily action. Like, we'll basically one-shot the Talonflame, we'll do good damage into Piloswine, and basically being neutral into Sandface, Toxapex, and Umbreon core. I'm sure it will give the edge to Pockets at some point.
Yeah, that's for sure. Definitely one of the most neutral mons Pocket has in this matchup. So I'm curious, especially if you can like set up a farm down and have 1 or 2 bullet seed advantage. With that Cradily, it can really be deadly. But let's move to the game. Players are locked in, and we do see King OWT leading the Toxapex into Out of Pocket's Umbreon, Zuko.
Yeah, definitely. In that matchup, I I definitely think I prefer to be on Toxapex time, being able to have that fast attack pressure and hard hitting Sludge Wave. While on Pocket side, you have that very fast paced style into foul play action. I do think the matchup will be very long, but I do think that they might pivot at some point. Definitely King might pivot at some point, maybe not. Will be here for a long run. Sludge Wave not being shielded does.
Yeah, we do see a catch. Like you were predicting, King OWT is the first one to move from that matchup, swapping out into the Umbreon to catch up, and Pocket is going to answer with his own Toxapex. So grab a coffee at home. We are here for a while, Zuko.
So we move from a Toxapex Umbreon matchup to another Toxapex Umbreon matchup. I think at this time that Umbreon definitely has the edge, being able to target that foul play, like resisted foul play, like making Pocket giving up some energy on that Umbreon. Like even if you no shield that Sludge Wave, it's not too bad. You set yourself up for a farm down with your own Toxapex or even that previous one later on the match.
Yeah, exactly. King OWT Umbreon is going to throw another foul play to chip even more that Toxapex, but Toxapex is about to reach the Sludge Wave, and that Sludge Wave, if it goes unshielded, it should be enough to knock out the Umbreon.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm a bit afraid. Oh, comes up with the previous one. That's perfect.
That's potentially a lot of farm on the Pylos one. Will we see a shield on that Brine here? We do not see a shield on the Brine.
No shield. Able to tank it like.
Yeah, and we do see that.
Not that easily, I will say.
We do see that.
No need to shield.
We do see that Avalanche to knock out. Yeah, now we do see a protected shield on the Talonflame, and King OWT swapping out into that Toxapex, and now out of pocket is going to bring that Umbreon. And will we start to see some protected shields on King OWT? Not yet, Zuko.
Not yet. I don't think. I think King wants to keep the shields for the charge attacks from the Talonflame. Sounds okay for me, but Pocket's able to shield a very energy consuming move. Very good shield on that side, and now King should shield. Like there's no way he's no shielding in that.
He does no shield. He's trying to bank as much energy as possible before, I guess that's the play, before swapping out and bringing that Pylos one. He wants to have two Brines ready, one to knock out the... No, he's going to go for the first Brine now. That should be...
What I'm afraid of is that Talonflame will be able to farm down with only a single incinerate, and it will be a bit problematic for the end game, especially with that Pylos one not having that much.
Yeah, that doesn't knock out, and indeed, like you're saying, King OWT unfortunately not able, and like you're saying, keeping his shield for the end, but in the end not enough HP remaining on his mons to make good use of those shields. Any idea on what we should expect for Game 2?
I mean, we should expect more shield usage. I think the problem is not using the shields there, like being too cautious of Talonflame's energy and health bars. Put King in a very tough spot there. If King used both of his shields at that moment, he would have been able to set himself up for a catch later, with the Pylos one having no health and no energy, and maybe could have reached two Brines to that Talonflame.
Yeah, what I found interesting, and it's really something that you can see when you have top players in the field, is that Pocket really recognized that King OWT was going for the 2 shield strategy and decided to use his last shield on the Umbreon to shield that sludge wave, because he knew that he would be able to outpace and to grab some shields, or to put the Toxapex at a low HP. And we do have game 2 here with the Toxapex into the Talonflame, and like we're discussing with the casters, yeah, Talonflame is pretty comfortably staying in this matchup, Zuko.
Definitely, the Prime does not threaten that much the Talonflame. And Toxapex is there. He's chilling, applies some damage, but doesn't have like threatening moves into the Talonflame. King able to throw a Sludge Wave that does a good amount of damage and will probably secure the switch for him later on the matchup, because it's probably the most efficient move that King has on his board to apply on that Umbreon. Now we stay on that mirror of Umbreon, so we can bring up a cup of tea, cup of coffee, whatever you like.
Yeah, whatever you want, but at least they are throwing a last resort at each other, which is going to definitely gain us sometimes if it were resisted foul plays, for instance. But yeah, like you were mentioning, King OWT for sure securing that switch advantage by throwing that sludge wave into the opposing Umbreon, and now we can comfortably build up some energy on the Umbreon to have some residual energy when Out of Pocket is going to come back in with another one.
A good piece of information that we got is that King will win the CMP, the charge attack priority into the Umbreon. So if he wants to, he can secure the mirror matchup anytime he wants, and that Umbreon is very safe into Pocket's team. Able to tank another last resort on his Umbreon, will leave the matchup with at least foul play banked, maybe last resort as well.
Yeah, I think it's a foul play, and King OWT, knowing that he can basically only throw one charge move, so it's going to go for that last resort that does slightly more damage, Zuko.
Definitely, it does a bit more damage, but not enough damage on the Talonflame to flatten it to give up a shield. Talonflame, Toxapex coming back, Talonflame trying to fly it. Fly won't knock out yet, but will apply the pressure that we know it's known for.
Ooh, and I do like that play. Out of Pocket swapping actually a turn earlier there on the Galarian Stunfisk, which is going to give him the edge, but really, and he gets the bait, the perfect bait, the rock slide bait, which is always super risky. And now I'm curious to see what King OWT is going to do. He's also going to go for that bait, and Out of Pocket putting the protected shield, Zuko.
Yep, definitely. And not the only answer is, do you shield an Earthquake or do you call a bait to put you in the edge of the matchup? And we see a shield on Earthquake.
He does shield, and I think for King at this stage, he has to bait another time to be able to outpace, and we do see Out of Pocket putting out his protected shield here.
Yep, finally comes back with a bit of a...
tries to get that catch, but I guess King OWT saw the writing on the wall, patiently waited, went into that Toxapex to soak the energy, and now he has to go up to 100 energy and pray he can just have a EQ.
Another problem is, do you win that CMP? You do not. You get outpaced with Earthquake, and Out of Pocket will win that matchup, win game number 2, and is able to put his opponents
Yeah, he's
by foot.
on the final, like probably what you wanted to say. Great game, to be honest, by Pocket there, because it was. I think he was really in a bad spot at some point throughout the game, but he really did what he had to do to just starting to bait, even if when he shielded the double bait from King OWT, tried to catch the EQ, but at the same time that was a double because he knew that if it fails, he still has a shot at winning, because he cannot bank EQ plus Rock Slide right now. And we move to game 3.
Mirror of Talonflame. Now, what will happen in this matchup? Who will win that charge after the priority that will give the edge to one of the players? And we know now, and it's Pocket. Pocket will be able to win that charge the priority in the mirror, will be able to match shield if needed, will be able to flex his way, know if he wants to have the switch advantage or the shield advantage. Puts up a shield first, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, puts up a shield, and now he's going to go for that flame charge because he can just ramp up his attack. I do like that play, Zuko, and King OWT is going to actually use his first protected shield because he wants to land that fly. Will we see a double shield from Out of Pocket? We do see that, Zuko.
We do see a double shield. We see a switch right away to that Umbreon. I think Out of Pocket would want to throw a fly right away, put some good damage into that Umbreon before switching out, before baiting it to another Pokemon, which will be that Cradily. That has a very neutral matchup into that Umbreon coming in.
Yeah, finally we do see some Cradily action coming into a loaded Umbreon though. But let's look at my boy Cradily tanking those foul play like a champ and building some energy, Zuko.
Yep, Cradily able to tank whatever that Umbreon has to throw at it, and will throw a hard hitting Grass Knot into that Umbreon. Doesn't get quite the knockouts, but it's deep down in the red, and I think Cradily will be able to farm it down or be quite
Cradily actually might be able to farm it down, and I think that I was about to say that at this stage I don't think if it's even a problem for Out of Pocket, because that's a way to seek even more energy on that Talonflame, and he do come back with the Talonflame, and now King OWT is going to use his last protected shield on the fly to get sure he gets rid of that Talonflame, but there is a hard answer lurking in the back for that Toxapex, and that's Out of Pocket Galarian Stun Fisk.
Exactly, King learns about his previous game mistake, puts up a shield very fast in this game. Unfortunately, met by his worst counter in Galarian Stun Fisk will throw an Earthquake. Earthquake at this point will be able to take the knockouts into the Toxapex.
Yeah, exactly. Goodbye Toxapex, and also let's see if look, trying to get to get a catch there, and I think that at this stage Out of Pocket is just toying with his opponent, going to go for that Rock Slide, the first Rock Slide, and throwing another Rock Slide into the Talonflame. Dominant performance by Out of Pocket, going straight into the grand finals with a great show, Zuko.
Yep, showing his dominance, showing that he can win over a tough opponent just like that. And that being said, we can meet up with the other casters as well, bring them back in. We will talk about how Pocket showed such a strong win, leading 3-0 into King, which was also undefeated in that tournament.
Yeah, crazy display from Pocket. Something that I think it's important to highlight is how charge attack priority is important in these mirror metas. With that Talonflame getting the charge attack priority tie versus the opposing Talonflame game 3 was crucial because he landed a fly, and then with the boosted flame charge damage, with the boosted incinerate and fly damage from the flame charge, it just set up the rest of the game.
Yeah, great strategies to success. On a side note, Jocks, I'm deeply saddened to announce to you that Steelix is not going to be in finals.
No!
It is going to be Riblet against Out of Pocket. Both are exactly 13-2 in single games, and they will fight it out.
Also, can we say
the second game off of,
can we say that we are talking about a European showdown and that the two competitors that are going to face each other in the final are coming from the North American region?
Perhaps
that's
a
kind
little
of a hard pill to
USD.
swallow. I think we should ban them next time, to be honest, because I'm not thinking that. They're taking our slots. They're taking our lands.
Well, we're taking their jobs and they're taking our land.
Oh, baby. But yeah, something interesting also is that game 2, they had the Galarian Stunfisk mirror, both going for baits, both getting shielded. That was a crazy endgame. And Pocket switching out, making sure that the G-Fisk had to waste energy, right? And the zero bubble undercharge trying to grasp for one more mudshot worth of energy because you can't stack up EQ plus Rock Slide. But Pocket knew that, of course. And that's why he swapped out and getting that clutch win. That was a really crazy endgame.
Yeah, exactly. I did mention it, but I think that was a very smart move because he tried to actually attempted the catch, but knowing that even if it fails, it's going to be part of another potential win con, which is, in my opinion, crazy. And that's really something I would like to highlight about Pokemon Go competitive circuit, is the amount of decision making in a very short time that you need to do is absolutely insane. So just to be sure about something, it's not two people trying to tap their phones out to victory. It's way more complex than that, and that particular situation, I think is a very powerful highlight of what I'm just pointing out.
And speaking of decision making, that kind of the opposite also kind of happened on game 1, where Riblet looked like Kingo looked like it was such a good position with the Toxapex versus that Talonflame and Umbreon, but he got the Sludge Wave shielded, and then he ended up having to just brine very low HP Umbreon, right, trying to get that back-to-back brines for the Talonflame as well. So maybe that was a case where he didn't quite have the correct decision making there, maybe going straight brine because he knows that the Talonflame needs to stay away from the Toxapex, right? So the Umbreon is most likely going to shield, and that's why maybe going for the brine bait there would have been the optimal play. But then you know that your opponent knows that, so there comes the mind games, right, of shielding the nukes or shielding.
But he knows that I know that he knows that I know.
Exactly.
But who knows the best?
To point out that game 2 endgame is that if King was slightly faster in going to switch, because he had way more than enough energy into that Stunfisk, he could have switched out and throw that brine into the Talonflame and be able to manage to take that endgame with charge attack priority events with both Stunfisk. Who knows who wins it? We did not know in that matchup, but maybe King had a chance, I'll say.
Yeah, all I'm not liking here is that unfortunately the Toxapex couldn't stay enough time on that Talonflame to actually make a dent on it. It just ended up on the Galarian Stunfisk game 3, and it had nothing to do. Even Pocket was so aware of the switch clock that he farmed just enough mud shots where the switch clock wasn't open to get the EQ to KO. This kid is crazy. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you there. That was a massive, and like you are saying, and for the viewers, I think it's even more important. We are talking about two absolutely amazing battlers, and yet you can sometimes see the difference could be in a best of 3, could be in one particular game between two incredible players, because that's how it works. Some of us or some of them are just naturally more gifted.
Yeah, some of them are just mere mortals that have to stick to casting, while others get the big money, like Pocket. Just one hashtag washed. Just one game away from securing an invitation for the Devon World Championships. Be wary that since it's not a European, he can't really get the $100, which I guess that's good news for Kingo because he's still on the race for that. And the final is gonna be between two NA players, Out of Pocket and Riblet.
How about we talk about them? Because Riblet is our grassroots champion, like he's our previous Devon Cup World Champion. He's currently standing as number 1 in the rankings. And meanwhile, Pocket is probably close to number 1 in the rankings in the Play Pokemon circuit. Our previous NAIC champion, and also like has made like multiple top cuts in the Play Pokemon circuits.
I want to say he's on a 10 tournament streak for top cuts.
Oi.
That's kind of crazy. Because if you think about it, there's a lot of trainers, myself included, when I'm sad about not being good enough, that claim that it's hard to be consistent in this game, right? Because of the nature of some of the matchups. Though there's people actually making a living out of this, like being able, not I wouldn't say making a living, but earning money, actually being good enough to make money from this game, and traveling all over the world for that. And Pocket is one of those players. For example, in Europe we have Colin that's able to achieve that as well. So yeah, there's a difference between good and elite players, and Pocket showing here. And Kingo is a great player himself. He was just 5th on the Birmingham regional, right? So he's no slouch, and Pocket's just displaying his dominance.
That's for sure. Like you are saying, I think that for most of the trainers out there, reaching one top cut at a tournament is already a trophy. But there are some players that are fairly, really disappointing if they are not top cutting a tournament. So that's the difference, I think, between like you are saying, top battlers against elite battlers.
Yeah, and something to note that these players kind of have pedigree because they both played grassroots for a while now, and both have been in the former Silph World Championships, representing their respective regions. So, being able to just being this level of consistent takes a lot of dedication and practice, as well as experience, right?
Yep. I don't want to misspeak, but I think Riblet was like top 3 or top 4 in one of the last Silph World Championship. Like I definitely remember.
I believe he was top 3. Yeah.
I definitely remember he has such a good show at some point, and Pocket like qualified for Silph Worlds multiple times already. Like I think any kind of formats Pocket has played in Pokemon Go, he has always showed a strong performance in it. Like any kind of grassroots tournament, even in the official circuit. I mean, I won't say he's gifted, but I think he definitely has the best experience out there.
Can he play Ultra League and Master League though?
I don't think so. I don't
Those do
think so.
not matter.
Hey,
They are
can I-
not real.
That's maybe where we can catch him.
I was gonna say maybe in Little Cup we have a chance, but I think Riblet has been #1 in GBL playing Little Cup, so I don't think even there we have much of a chance, guys.
Disgusting.
That's
But
kind of interesting because even though it's a very different format, I think both have been #1 this season in GBL as well. So
Already?
That is also correct. Yeah. I'm not
I
sure
didn't
about
see
Riblet
Riblet.
this season, actually. I definitely
Maybe-
remember Pocket hitting #1.
Oh, I do remember Rybreak being #1 because I think there was like a sort of battle between SS Storm and Ryblades. Correct me if I'm wrong, Zhao.
yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. That's why I remember because with actually Ferrothorn and he renamed it like SS Ferrothorn on his team or something like that. It was funny. So both of them being also like should be on #1. As I said, out of Pocket being good at every format Pokemon Go has to offer. At least Pokemon Go PvP.
I'm quite
Crazy.
interested in seeing this
Master
matchup
Raider.
because I believe even though Melmetal kind of looks meh versus most teams, I think it's actually really good into Pocket's team because besides Galarian Stunfisk, it hits it hits every single Pokemon for super effective damage. There's a double flyer with Toxapex which are weak to electric, and there's 3 Mons weak to superpower. I think Melmetal might have its best showcase in the finals.
I did mention it earlier that it is probably quite good into Galarian Moltres, and I guess it gets to proof whether it is. You're absolutely correct. The only real threat is the Galarian Stunfisk, because Superpower just does not do enough, especially after you debuff yourself with the first one. Whilst Umbreon you can at least hit for neutral with Thundershocks and Rock Slide. Talonflame, I would assume, is not super amazing, but it's probably still fine since you outpace so heavily and hit for super effective Thundershocks as well. Flame Charge might skew that matchup a good amount, though.
I'm gonna make a prediction here. I think Pocket is gonna lead Talonflame 3 out of 3 times because he can't afford a strategy where Melmetal just throws a move, throws a superpower, and dips.
Honestly, Riblet
So,
also only has one punish to that, which is Toxapex lead, but people don't really like leading Toxapex typically.
Yeah. Because Galarian
Definitely.
Stunfisk lead is so oppressive, right? Because if you swap out behind energy versus that, it just dumps an EQ and guarantee switch pretty much, which is annoying.
I think the biggest problem with Melmetal is being so frail that Talonflame can probably 2-shield farm down to the Melmetal without being able to hit the Thunder Rock Slide. I think that's the
that's
main
true.
issue with Melmetal. But it definitely has some play, and I hope we can see at least one game with it.
If I'm not
But
mistaken, we're just waiting for one more matchup between SS Torn and Asprashelto. By the way, banger alert. I think they are going into a rematch. I believe both SS Torn and Asprashelto are still pretty active in Devon, which means that having a good placement here maybe
Yes.
can skew the leaderboards a bit. So not even though they're out of the race for the direct invite, they're still playing for a ranking.
Exactly. Asprashelto is currently ranked 124 in the rankings, while SS Thorn is currently ranked 72 for now. So
Which is kind of crazy, right? Because you look at those players as pretty much elite, and you're saying there's 70 to 100 players that are doing better this season than them. So maybe also due to
it's also-
not as much participation, but yeah, still pretty crazy. It just means that the circuit is still pretty competitive. There's quite a few veterans there, owning up their skills monthly in restricted metas. Which again, we have a specific team of content creators, meta creators, refs working monthly to bring this metas to the trainers. And if you're curious on how to sign up, how to host your own tournaments, because watch out, you can do it online and in person. Just go to devon.gg and you're able to check it out and how to sign up and do everything. And if you have any questions, we have a bunch of staff ready to help you out.
Yeah, and to also just add on something you all have been saying, participating in the Devon competition is free of charge. So you do not have to put some money to participate. Whereas if you want to participate in the official circuit, you do have generally you need to pay an entry fee, without talking about traveling expenses and stuff like that. So also, in my opinion, a great opportunity if you are interested in show 6-pick free. That's, in my opinion, the best starting point you can have. You are going to start to be familiar with the format, play some new months, face some crazy good opponents, and then you can really improve your gameplay and then show everywhere how good you are.
And if
Not
you
only-
support, go ahead.
Not only do we have Devon with the solo championship series, of course, there is also more grassroots competition like Gym Breakers, who get their metas from Devon as well in an official cooperation, where you can not only play by yourself against people, but also in a team with at least 7 other friends of yours, depending on where your friends are, of course, since Gym Breakers is a World Cup. Just like the soccer/football World Cup, where you have teams.
Soccer, you're
nationality.
European, dude. What? You
That's why I
can't say
said flash
soccer.
Bro, we have 2 Americans in finals. American is fine.
What are you on about, dude? Soccer? What?
Okay, so just like the football World Cup, your team consists of other people from the same country typically, and country can have multiple teams. So, for example, USA has 4 teams, I want to say. Germany has 3. India has like 8. So if you're interested in that, there is also a channel there where you can find a team that will take you in, or you can even start your own.
Yeah, recently my team and Ilya's team faced each other, and Ilya just dodged me. He wasn't even signed
we
up,
cooked you
and
then.
he emergency subbed for one of his teammates, and he dodged me completely. And then he's lucky because he won 4-2 in total. He had to face 2 of my teammates. He won both matches, and I only went 3-3. I lost as wireless.
Can you tell him, Jokes, that I asked to face you?
Oh, did you?
When we met? Yeah, no, actually I didn't. They just put me against you. But they changed the pair. They told me, Jokes, let's put you against him. I was like, okay. Okay.
That's bringing back bad memories because I've lost versus you as well on that format.
Yeah,
this is not looking good for me, guys. I think we should change subject right away.
But based on that, the Gym Breakers format is super nice. Also a great experience, and you can have, that's really the beauty of the grassroots circuits out there. You have like competition like the Devon solo, where you are just going all by yourself in it, and you also have like team formats, other formats were mentioned before, like factions for instance, or that Gym Breakers that Ilya was just mentioning right now. But a lot of opportunities out there to just practice and just become a better battler.
Okay, guys, round 6 is up. We have Ryblet against Pockets matchup ready in the final round for the not European winner.
Yeah. This is gonna leave a sour taste in my mouth, but hopefully the battles are crazy enough to make do for Kingo not making to the winners finals. But I'm expecting a crazy matchup, and both these players undefeated. Both of them only dropped 2 total matchups in this tournament, which it started like 3 or 4 hours ago, so it's been long, but their road has been insane so far.
You know
Especially after round 1 with Pocket.
You know what's a better point than being a European champion? Is that one of them will be crowned European after the win. So
honorary.
So we get to take them in.
Exactly.
Oh, so one of them becomes okay. I'll take that. We kind of need reinforcements. I'm not gonna lie. we're looking bad out here, guys.
I mean, yeah. I was about to make a political comment, but I will keep that to myself.
Let's not make a political comment. Let's not do it. Oh yeah.
Honorary European sounds like a great title, though.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if that Mal medal can cook up, because I think it's looking like a prime matchup here. Rivlet, I'm guessing we'll have the opportunity to interview both of them in the end, because I'm kind of curious to see if that Mel medal put in work, because it looks like a very specific pick to counter the main meta, maybe countering that Toxapex Fire Core. But yeah, we'll see if he uses it, though. I don't know.
Bye,
right.
Sergio.
Bye,
Nicolas.
We'll
Let's
catch
get
you
into
on the
the
other side.
grand final between our 2 American friends.
Oh baby, this is gonna be explosive. I feel like, because we have Rivlet, who's the reigning, defending world champion of Devon, and we have Out of Pocket, who's won NAIC, top 5 in worlds, been cooking in GBL as well. So
10 top cuts in a row.
Yeah, 10 top cuts in a row. That's crazy. So I think we're looking for a bombastic matchup here.
Of current official play Pokemon tournaments are facing each other in the European International Showdown here, and I'm very curious on who will be able to take it home. I could very much see either win here with their unique strategies, even though they do have 4 Pokemon in common, or 3 Pokemon in common. No, it is 4 Pokemon actually. It is Stunfisk, Umbreon, Toxapex, and Talonflame, with Pocket opting for some slightly more meta options with Galarian Moltres and Cradily against Malmetal and Araquanid.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Moltres might be the key for Pocket, right? Because even though there's a couple of resistances to the Brave Bird, the Sucker Punch damage is quite unresisted on Rivlet's team, right? So it might be able to...
the Umbreon, yeah.
Yeah, and that matchup is quite nice for Moltres, right? Because you do resist the Starls and Foul Plays, so you can just do Brave Birds without getting the damage that much. So I think that Galarian Moltres will be key to unlock the matchup for Pocket. Well, I think Rivlet will hope that the Melmetal can put enough work with the Superpower and the Rock Slide coverage for both flyers that have been putting in work for Pocket.
Yeah, I'm quite curious to see which Pokemon he opts to bring besides the Galarian Moltres, because I think we can agree that Galarian Moltres is probably the most neutral pick here. Besides that, I guess the Umbreon also looks quite good, but it has to respect the Araquanid. Whilst the Araquanid I think is hard to bring, it could just be a Scumreed pick to punish Umbreon safe switches, because besides Umbreon, it doesn't have very positive matchups. The Cradily is fine because of the super effective Buck Bites, but you also take super effective Rock Slides. Then Talonflame is atrocious, Toxapex is atrocious. I guess Galarian Stunfisk might be okay with the Water Pulse.
I'm only kind of worried about Toxapex, I'm not gonna lie, because the Water Pulse coverage is so good in this meta. Versus its counters, it does a chunk of damage. So we even saw the matchup versus the Magmar, right? Which is a fire type that is supposed to be so good versus a bug type. Water Pulse almost one-shot. So I think that's a great coverage move and great call on the moveset by Rivlet, making Araquanid a bit more flexible.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So one question that I've had is, we do see double Flame Charge and Fly here, but would one of them prefer to have Bravebird in this specific matchup? Yes, the Flame Charge is very nice for the Melmetal and G-Fisk, but Bravebird would give you this extra flexibility to one-shot the Araquanid, one-shot the Galarian Moltres pretty much, one-shot the opposing Talonflame respectively, and put the Toxapex in a one-fly range. So, was Flame Charge the correct decision after all? Will it pay off in this matchup?
I mean, they both got to the finals with it, right? So I'm guessing, and they every time we've seen stream games, Talonflame has been a major player, and most of them were packing that Flame Charge, right? So I think maybe for consistency's sake, the two-shield Talonflame strategy would have boosted Incinerate and more threatening flies versus these bulk monsters like Umbreon and Toxapex has been proving to be the most neutral and effective moveset overall.
Yeah, it could easily pay off, since Talonflame, not only Galarian Moltres is quite a good lead, Talonflame as well. I do not see a proper way to punish either of these picks in the front.
Yeah, and if you're on the outside looking into these top battlers, getting ready for the finals, getting ready to maybe get a direct invite for the Devon World Championships, a reminder that we have two more of these showdowns later down the line. We have in April, we're going to have the APAC region showdown, international showdown, and in June, we're going to have the NA one, the North America, all leading up to Worlds in July. So if you guys are excited about it, don't forget it. You don't have to be qualified to join these tournaments. You can just join in as an outside player looking in. So just sign up. Maybe you get a chance at $1,000 prize pool on the World Champions. We have the leads. We have the Melmetal lead into the Talonflame, just as I predicted.
There is that Talonflame lead that we were talking about, and Rivlet does not like to see it. He was expecting the Galarian Moltres, I guess, and out of pocket knowing that if he throws right after free here, he can get the free, he can deny the sneak in due to the swap turn, and Rivlet also knowing that throws the foul play right away.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious why Rivlet maybe didn't do a Thunder Shock before swapping out. Maybe didn't want to desync the switch cost too much, or wanted to get the Umbreon there right away. A nice chip damage from the Talonflame comes in with the Galarian Stunfisk to soak up all these foul plays.
I think this is a very interesting counter switch, considering he knows he has the Toxapex in the back, and there is a Melmetal in the opposing side. I suppose he does know that it likely is not going to face the Melmetal, but at the same time, would the Galarian Stunfisk not just be a safer pick to prevent from going down here, or losing a lot of HP at the very least?
Yeah, maybe he's reading into it, maybe thinking there's a potential for another pick in the back. I'm not sure. He does get off the Earthquake, it's enough to KO, and this G-Fisk is still quite healthy. He has a bunch of energy, gonna reach a Rock Slide versus a Talonflame. Not before. Ooh, he does get it on with good
predicting that the Galarian Stunfisk will live here, and no matter how close it is, 1 HP is not 0 HP, was threatening to reach another Rock Slide, so Rivlet has to throw the charge move here. Very correct prediction, the much safer play. But now the Toxapex, with the shield advantage, is finding this Talonflame, and immediately swaps back into the Talonflame against the Melmetal.
Yeah, but this Talonflame is behind to shield it. That access to Flame Charge, gonna boost the fast move damage, and you can't shield Incinerate, Celia. So this is the first shield, but this Talonflame is gonna pop off!
You can't shield Incinerates indeed. Out of pocket with the Talonflame, because he threw the fly earlier, we are back to this free 2-2 pace. So the next fly is also going to be reached in a single another Incinerate.
Rivlet, knowing that the Talonflame was going to reach that fly, chooses to throw the superpower, is super low the Talonflame, pocketing Basting Shields on the boosted Talonflame, hoping that the boosted fly will do massive damage on the Talonflame in the back.
Able to farm down the Melmetal here, and I'm curious, will the fly at +1 attack KO here, or will the Talonflame still hang on? It does not quite KO, it's not even that close honestly, but the Toxapex with 100% HP is obviously going to be easily cleaning out this endgame.
Yeah, and that strategy that we were discussing, putting the G-Fisk on the Umbreon in the mid-game, kind of proving to be quite nice, because then you have the energy to throw on the Talonflame with the super effective Rock Slides, threatening a knockout. You can't really get farmed down by the Melmetal as well, so I think it ended up being the correct play, Ilya.
Absolutely. Looking back at Reblet's team, there isn't really anything that could farm down that G-Fisk with the HP it left that matchup with, besides the Talonflame, of course. But threatening to reach 2 Rock Slides is just so devastating that he still had to use the energy that he just gained from farming the Galarian Stunfisk.
Yeah, and here if you're Pocket, you're reading right into Riblet's mind, knowing that that Melmetal is so threatening, so making sure that the Talonflame is there up and ready, making that fast move pressure so oppressive that he needed to swap out. Maybe, I think Riblet didn't throw that Thunder Shock. Maybe he was scared of some desync or something for the Incinerate to register, but that might have proven costly because he ended up having to throw superpowers into the Talonflame, right? Because he lacked energy on to outpace that Talonflame. So maybe he needed to do that extra Thunder Shock, and he could have reached a Rock Slides first before debuffing its defense.
I do believe Superpower was actually better, simply because it lowers your defense, it gives your opponent a little less energy, but at the same time, it still was enough energy, and you still just didn't do enough damage. So I guess you might be right. With the extra Thunder Shock damage, it would have been very close for the Talonflame. The only problem then would still be that Toxapex in the back.
Yeah, that Toxapex proving to be super clutch for out of pocket there, just imposing itself versus the opposing Talonflame. And this leaves the opinion that maybe G-Fisk is the option instead of Melmetal, because you put a super oppressive shutdown on that Toxapex. We have the second match going on out of pocket, 1 win away from winning the entire competition. It has Talonflame limited to Umbreon, pretty neutral.
You are at 2 for 2. That is the Talonflame lead yet again, since we know how neutral it is. Good move timing here, wanting to throw after 4. Riblet also knowing that, throws just 1 turn off from optimal move timing. This is actually very good for Riblet, because now he would have reached the next foul play after 1 again, and Pocket would have been forced to go over 100 energy if he wanted to throw on good move timing.
And that's when having this matchup knowledge is really important, because one, you don't want to just go for move timing and give this Talonflame free reign, but then you have to know when your opponent is going to be at 100 energy, forcing them to throw on miss time as well. So running an Incinerate user kind of clunky here.
Yeah, it's absolutely a punishable thing, and good players know fully well good move timing is not always good move timing. Sometimes bad move timing is good move timing.
We have a shield here. Is this gonna be a kill through the shield? No
shield KO! Just barely hangs on. I want to say at 1 HP now, if not just now. Reaches the fly. I do believe Riblet just got the Incinerate denied.
Yeah, that's not ideal, because now he gets a free Incinerate worth of damage here. Oh, Pocket giving the Incinerate back, knowing that the game didn't function properly there. Very good sportsmanship. It has the alignment here, and you have a G-Fisk safe swap. Pocket reacting super fast, getting into the mirror, is in the mirror with a shield disadvantage. This could be pretty tricky.
Not only a shield disadvantage, also an energy disadvantage. This is very rough for Pocket here. If he manages to throw Rock Slide, get the bait, and then still land an Earthquake, that might be his only chance to get out of this uncomfortable situation. And he knows that as well. Goes for the Rock Slide here. Riblet actually shielding here, which honestly surprises me quite a lot. I would have thought that just no shielding here is the safer play, since even if it is Earthquake, you just easily live it with no issues.
Yeah, maybe just knowing that he has 2 shields, so...
Oh my god, jump!
An Earthquake.
He
gets a double bait! He gets the double bait, and now Pocket maybe trying to throw the tide here. He just reached the Earthquake, not forcing them to not overfarm as much. And can the Toxapex still put in work here? It's gonna be kind of tricky, because I think you need 2 Bryans from this position.
Yes, absolutely. If 2 Bryans even KO, mind you. Pocket also probably knows this game is most likely over due to how much HP the Galarian Stunfisk still has, how much HP that Talonflame still has, and with landing this Earthquake here, it's of course even more uphill. Yeah, Pocket knowing that this game is over, does not even throw the move anymore. However, asserted dominance by getting 2 shields with rock slides on a Galarian Stunfisk.
Yeah, that's kind of the tricky thing about that backline from Pocket, right? Because a G-Fisk with energy advantage is a counter to itself in the mirror, right? So the backline was so weak to G-Fisk with energy advantage that even with double bait, it wasn't quite enough since it was also behind 2 shields.
Yeah, very heads-up play by Riblet as well, no shielding that fly with Talonflame, knowing that the Galarian Stunfisk will easily clean out the match with that shield advantage.
Yeah, and here I'm wondering if Pocket chooses to put the Toxapex in the bench, because it did pretty well on that game 1, even though it wasn't really needed because he did land that boosted fly on the opposing Talonflame. So Toxapex was just there to clean up the end game, pretty much poison jab down. But here it kind of proved that it didn't do its job. So maybe something more neutral like a Cradily could have a bit more neutral play, where it also has play versus a Talonflame, but it doesn't get walled by the Galarian Stunfisk.
Yes, the Toxapex absolutely felt more like a liability than anything in this game, and I'm wondering as well if he will try to bring it again just to punish that Talonflame. The problem with that is simply that he needs a proper answer to the Galarian Stunfisk in the bag, which was taken away from him by shielding against Umbreon and still only barely hanging on after that matchup.
Thinking if I'm Pocket, I'm dumping the Toxapex on the bench and I'm going for neutrality. I'm going for Moltres plus Cradily because the Melmetal is getting benched. We have a Talonflame lead 3 games in a row. Am I a Psychic? Am I a Psychic?
It's the same teams! It's exactly mirror teams! You were absolutely correct with your call, but besides that, Riblet has also adapted to this situation and is winning charge attack priority here!
Ooh, this is massive. Pocket shielding, learning from the mistake from King the OWT that no shielded the first fly, and then he went for flame charge. So here, both trainers matching the shields. Riblet knows that he wins charge attack priority, so he has massive advantage in this matchup. Is he going to try to catch a move?
And he is indeed. He is going to catch on that Umbreon just like I thought, since that is his tank. It is just going to soak this energy without having to be scared of Talonflame staying in and throwing a flame charge like the Galarian Stunfisk would. Instead, the Talonflame just farms up a bunch of extra energy and now goes into the mirror match by Riblet.
Yeah, here in the Umbreon Mirror matchup with this chip damage, it's more than the last resort, obviously. So Riblet is going to be able to secure switch advantage in this matchup, and he does have the is that the energy disadvantage on the Talonflame Mirror though? Is that going to prove costly in the end game?
I'm wondering as well, though I do not believe so, since the next few flies will still take 2 Incinerates, as you need 3 Incinerates for the first one and then 2 for the next 3. So the pace should still work out in favor of Riblet here, if they both come in with the same energy, of course.
I wonder if the play here could be maybe trying to snipe the Umbreon at red HP. Oh, he goes into the Galarian Stunfisk right away, not allowing that farm down, trying to get ahead on energy. Talonflame with a lot of energy has the first flame charge ready just before the Rock Slide is deployed.
Yeah, Riblet realizing that right now is a good time to just throw your move, deal a ton of damage to this Galarian Stunfisk as it's not quite yet able to get the shield from you, or knock out the Talonflame with the Rock Slide.
Yeah, and I think Riblet chooses to no-shield. That's an interesting play. Yeah, that's an interesting play. Here, maybe hoping that Umbreon is able to deal with the rest of this Galarian Stunfisk, and then his own can clean up in the back, goes into the mirror with an energy disadvantage, Ilya.
Goes into the mirror with an energy disadvantage with even shields. That is probably the correct play in my opinion, since the Umbreon is still outside of fly range, whilst the Stunfisk will take a lot of damage anyways from the Incinerates and the Flame Charge. Oh, he's trying to farm down here, and Pocket smells the farm down attempt. Tries to throw the foul play, but overtaps.
Yeah, recognizing that the Umbreon is still a bit too healthy, would reach another foul play, not wanting to take that damage on. Goes into the Talonflame, reaches the Rock Slide. It has a lot of energy. The overfarm from Riblet maybe gonna be the game sealer here, because it gets the last shield from Pocket.
Now the question is, will the Galarian Stunfisk be able to hang on? We don't have to answer that question because he catches the move with the Umbreon, soaks the energy. Now the question has changed. Is Pocket able to farm down this Umbreon and leave the matchup with a Flame Charge? But it does not appear that way. Ryblet has just too much energy on the Umbreon.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would have thrown this foul play here, because if you do proper move timing, you would have back-to-back move. It goes into
Oh my god, he waited!
What a move from Pocket!
He waited! He did not even tap! However, I do believe he is just a bit of energy away from the Flame Charge, is he not?
Does he have the Flame Charge? It's a CMP time! Does his Flame Charge KO?
I do believe it does, but let's see, will Pocket take it home? Or will Ryblet's Galarian Stunfisk hang on?
It's just
Talonflame takes it home for Pocket!
Wow, Pocket coming out as an outsider from the Devon circuit, proving he's one of the best in the world, taking out the Devon world champion, the reigning world champion, and securing himself a direct slot in the world champion for this season. Congrats to Out of Pocket coming into the European region and taking it out for an A.
What an incredible matchup. Let's talk with Sergio and Nicolas about it.
What
do you guys think? That was
absolutely crazy. That last game, wow. That's why you sign up. That's why you watch those streams for those kind of games. And just for the record, my champion won.
Ours.
Who was on the Pocket train for the last 3 seconds of the match? Like,
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I wasn't sure if that flame charge was enough to KO, taking into account the last flame charge damage. I think it was just about enough to KO. It doesn't get closer than that, right? Both trainers pretty much undefeated throughout the whole tournament, going into a decisive game 3, 1-1, and it comes down to a charge attack priority between Galarian Stunfisk and Talonflame, pretty much the two staples of this meta.
But it's also exactly what we were discussing actually before the grand final on how the mind games, how adapting to the information that you are seeing on your screen and just fastly and quickly take a new decision. Here, Pocket understands that he's going to lose charge attack priority, catches the next one on another one. He knows that this is going to put himself in a bad spot, because it's going to offer the opportunity to your opponent to always be in charge of the pacing of the game, detecting which matchups are going to be on the field. But despite that, always managing well his energy, always having some energy even in a low HP months, proved to be the right strategy in the end for him.
Making use of the switch beautifully in the end there, waiting for 2 turns so the first Snarl's damage would lock onto the Talonflame, so Ryblet would have less time to react to that swap into the Galarian Stunfisk, and so Talonflame would just be able to leave with that energy, and Galarian Stunfisk with the ability to throw the Rock Slide first. Incredible.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Incinerate, user waits are always one of the most satisfying things.
Yeah, I agree. And where the clunkiness of Incinerate kind of cost him a game on the game before, actually, the clunkiness cost him the game. There, he made sure that Incinerate wasn't gonna stop him, and he made sure that he waited, and the damage registered where he wanted to register. That's perfect mastering of the mechanics of the game. And with that, Out of Pocket guarantees a direct slot on the Devon's Worlds back in the upcoming July. But if you guys are wondering, whoa, what's next for me? Do I get to still go to Worlds? Yes, there's gonna be still a bunch of months of competition in the Devon circuit. Go to devon.gg for that, and we're gonna have 2 more showdowns, the APAC one in April and the NA one in June, just before Worlds. So if you're excited about this, if this lifted a fire up under you with this Ingot Cup, which was the objective, fire types dominating, join us on the devon.gg circuit and check out the next tournament near you.
Before we wrap this up though, not only did Pocket win the qualification to Worlds, we also still have the $100 prize money for the best European performer in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it?
So
Felix.
Dracovis, it is Cleonardo.
it is Colorado tied
Ooh,
with.
I'm getting
find
information that
the king.
Celio and Taurus
And
Cookie
Joe.
are tied for the prize money.
So the question is now, will we have a tiebreaker for it?
Yo, do we have a
Uh,
tiebreaker, Delian?
Hey,
Or it's
not
just
my
gonna be
problem. We
a
will
cheeky
ask
split.
Adelion, and he will figure out.
I think it's very much time for me to dive in from the background as a ghost on this, just to have a look. It is something that Devon will have to determine. So we're going to look at whether they played against each other in the head-to-head and see if that happened. And if not, if we can't get a determination that way, there will have to be a tiebreaker as well. I will see if we can get that sorted depending on their availability now. If not, it'll have to be done offline, just because I don't want to hold up everyone else. So stay tuned. I am going to check on this right now.
Yep. Thank you very much.
So I just checked. Actually, none of the three faced each other.
Oh,
Leonardo-
baby. Maybe we get extra
Leonardo, Taurus
content.
Cookie, and King OWT. None of them faced each other. So they did
Perfect.
not have a direct face-to-face yet.
So they will probably play into each other at some point later. Let's go.
That's going to be a stressful game, no? Because it's not all the time that you have like $100 at stake
Mhm.
when you are playing a GBL game, for example.
What
Yeah.
could be a potential tiebreaker could be Buchholz, since King OWT is the only one of the three that faced the winner out of pocket.
Well, we will see. We let the tournament organizer do their thing and manage that side of the tournament. Good luck to them, by the way.
I mean, $100 could pay quite a few rounds of beers for me and my friends. So if none of them want the
EUIC,
money,
that's like-
I'll step up. I'll take it. No worries.
In London at EUIC, not enough. Okay,
Yeah.
guys, it does seem like we have an interview. No interview, unfortunately,
Okay,
we are not gonna talk with the champion, but everybody sees him all the time at tournaments anyways. He gets enough interviews at Play Pokemon. So,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He always
for
says he's gonna
watching.
win 100%, 1,000%. So I guess he proved himself right there.
All this
thank
to say
you
shout out to
so
Light's
much for
Discord stream.
watching. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and thank you so much to Miss Mystic, who helped produce, or didn't help produce, who produced this entire thing,
Yeah.
without whom it would not have been possible.
Thank you very much to all the content creators, which are article writers, meta creators, or like even, I would say, video content creators, something like that. So, thank you to all of you. Thank as well to all the casters here, Splin, Ilya, Zhao. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, likewise.
It picked me as well to come on this this great tournaments. Thanks to Devon Corporation to have all of us and giving us this opportunity to cast and as well as hosting all these tournaments. If you want to help Devon Corporation, don't forget to support them with coffee. We have a link to the coffee link to the coffee of Devon Corporation in the stream soon. And thank you to also Adelion and Jolene in the background that helped us a lot during the stream and before the stream and after the stream as well. Thanks everyone. Also, shout
and
out
also
to
Zion.
Yeah. I did not purposely forget him. Don't worry. Love the guy as well.
All right, guys. Maybe catch you on the battlefield because this got me itching for some battles. So I might go get my scrims in for next time.
See you all soon. Bye bye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.